Fox's Jared Halpern is live at the Capitol.
Senate Republican leaders had hoped to move forward on their version of health care legislation this week. Instead, there will not be a vote until next month.
But we're still working toward getting at least 50 people in a comfortable place.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was facing increasing opposition from within Republican ranks, and short of the 50 votes needed to advance the legislation, all Senate Republicans then invited to the White House for a strategy session with President Trump, who McConnell calls very anxious to help. Chris.
Jared, a cyber attack spreading throughout Europe is affecting some computer systems in the United States as well, including the drug company Merck's and Heritage Valley Health System in Pennsylvania. It involves ransomware, with hackers demanding money to release affected data. More criminal charges related to the police shooting of a teenager in Chicago.
3 current or former Chicago police officers have been indicted on charges of conspiracy, obstruction, and misconduct for allegedly lying about circumstances surrounding the 2014 police shooting of Laquan McDonald, to allegedly conceal the facts and to shield fellow officer Jason Van Dyke, who faces murder charges in the case. 911 calls led police to 17-year-old McDonald, who was high on PCP with a knife in his hand when he was shot 16 times. Video of the shooting, which was released via a court order, sparked protests and a shakeup at police headquarters. In Chicago, Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Facebook announces it now has 2 billion monthly active users. Company boss Mark Zuckerberg writes in a Facebook post, "It's an honor." Fox News, fair and balanced.
Summer involves a lot of driving, to camp, to work, to soccer, back home to grab what they forgot, and then back to soccer again. So wouldn't you like to know your car is up for it? Enter Hum by Verizon. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics, drive with more peace of mind thanks to 24/7 emergency assistance, and let the kids stream and game on the go with your car's own Wi-Fi hotspot. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. Verizon Wi-Fi available on Hum X only. Data usage applies. Coverage not available everywhere. Visit vzw.com for availability.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Trump administration declares China one of the worst human trafficking offenders in the world.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says a new report on human trafficking shows tens of thousands of people are forced to work 20 hours a day in China, and that the U.S. has downgraded the nation to Tier 3, the lowest level alongside North Korea and Syria.
It has not taken serious steps to end its own complicity in trafficking.
China's foreign ministry has said it strongly opposes the U.S. using its domestic laws to attack another country's record. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
The first gender-neutral driver's licenses in the nation are being offered today in D.C.
Washington, D.C. officially becomes the first jurisdiction in the country where drivers can choose an X on their license for their gender instead of M or F for male or female. Proponents feel
the X gender marker allows for individuals to have more privacy around their gender.
But this man feels no one is born an X.
I think it should say male or female.
This new option follows a wave of court orders which have designated at least 20 people legally non-binary, challenging the available options for gender on IDs. An approved plan for gender-neutral licenses in Oregon takes effect July 3rd.
Fox's Lillian Wu. A move in Germany to prevent the use of armed military drones.
Some German lawmakers are planning to block the leasing of drones that can carry weapons, as Germany moves toward obtaining a fleet of Israeli-made drones. The aircraft in question are a model known as a Heron. It is favored by Germany's military and it could be armed to protect troops on the ground. But lawmakers from one of the parties in Germany's ruling coalition saying they will reject the procurement plan. They say they are comfortable only with drones being used for non-lethal surveillance. Alistair Wanklin, Fox News.
The closing bell on Wall Street, the Dow down 98 points. And I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
It's not what you know.
No, that's right.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. A heater might kick in tonight, a low of 56. Tomorrow warms up. Mostly sunny, high 86, a low of 72. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 89, a low of 72. Right now, sunny, clear, beautiful, 78 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Jeremy Warner. Had to skip a Monday. St. Louis Cardinals baseball interrupted us yesterday. They get a win. What a rare thing that is these days.
That's 2 in a row.
Oh, look out.
One more. And that's what we call a winning streak.
Yes! I watched about 7 innings Saturday with my nieces and my boys, and I finally looked at all 3 of them, and I'm like, or all 4 of them, and I said, "You guys want to go?" I'm like, if we leave now, we can make it back to home by midnight. They're like, "Yeah, let's go, Uncle Lon."
See, here's the thing about being a Cardinals fan. You still have expectations.
You do.
I went to the White Sox game. It was my first in, I didn't go last year. That was my protest. For that team to pick a direction.
Understood.
So I need to support them now.
They did, and now you're supporting.
And they were down within the first 2 hitters. They hit a home run off James Shields. I'm like, everyone's booing James Shields. I'm like, guys, come on, it's part of the process. Bottom 5 record right now.
This is what we want.
Top 5 pick. Let's get Seth Beard to match with Jake Berger and all that. So
isn't that funny?
So yeah, I mean, it was fun though. Just we have no expectations, so you're just there on a beautiful Saturday,
just enjoying
watching
life.
A baseball game.
Exactly.
That's all you're doing. It's not worrying about you contending. What's that?
Why do we care?
What's that? What's the minor league stats right now?
I said I may be watching Lance Lynn for the last time at Busch Stadium. We'll see. It's fun though. It's fun just to get down to a game, or for you to go up to a game or whatever.
And this is the best time of year to go.
Yes,
to baseball
it is.
games.
It's beautiful.
And both you and I did that over our long weekend. We're gonna have a longer one next week. Just to get it out there. We're not going to be here Monday, July 3rd. Or Tuesday, July 4th. We're
Take a little break.
Some family time. And who's going to listen to us on July 3rd and July 4th anyway?
Nobody wants to hear us.
We're going to take the time off.
Exactly.
And you'll hear ESPN Radio if you are going to listen. But, so we'll take those 2 days off. But it was a nice long weekend, and what a beautiful weekend it was.
It was perfect, and I know we've got so much to talk about sports-wise, but it was, and it seems like it's been so long ago. Like Friday night, I had a doubleheader for Andrew, and then Saturday I go down to St. Louis and do all that all day, get home late. Then Sunday morning, get on a bus with a bunch of guys, like 15 of us, and went over to Noblesville to watch Def Leppard and Poison.
And Tesla?
I don't recall much of Tesla. Things started coming back at Poison. And
those party buses, man.
Oh, it was
That's
horrible.
My brother's wedding is in about 3-4 weeks.
Oh.
And that's one of those things where you want to fully enjoy it.
You do.
But especially me with giving a speech in the wedding, since I'm the best man. You got to control yourself, and it's hard to pace yourself in that kind of environment, right? That's what I find the most trouble is. All right, we're excited, we're hanging out together, we don't see each other much, and that's it. Wait,
calm down, everybody.
This is a marathon.
That's exactly
Especially if you're in the groom's party. Because you're getting up early, having a beer.
Pictures.
Before you got pictures.
Yeah, you can't.
You probably have a beer in hand while you're doing the pictures.
I will tell everybody out there.
But then you got to make it till like midnight.
Well, that's the thing.
Right? That's
all you guys out there that are young and you're going to be in a wedding or you're going to get married, don't ruin it. The night before.
Here's the thing.
Have fun, but don't ruin it because you're going to feel like crap the entire day.
Most people do it weeks before now.
Yes.
I don't know what you guys were thinking in your generation, or you did the bachelor party the night before a wedding.
We did not do that.
Okay, my dad's generation then.
They did that. No,
I
that's
don't know
crazy.
what the heck they were doing.
Right, well, maybe they wanted to settle you down for wedding day.
Smartest thing you can do. Have a water.
Yes, the entire time.
Have a water by you. Take a swig of water every once in a while. You'll feel better throughout the day and the next day.
You always need to have somebody on the bus that's the hydration person. That's halfway responsible, and that's the trick. Find somebody halfway responsible.
The hydration specialist.
Yes. Now
you can give them a fancy title.
Right. I was in the very back with the coolers, so about every 5 seconds they're like, Tay, I need this. Tay, I need that. So I'm just, every time I'd be handed beer, I'm like, you know what? Mine's almost gone. I'll just go ahead and grab another one while you're up. And then we had, so 2 of the girls that went on this trip brought Jell-O shots, and one of the gentlemen brought moonshine. Is that good? That can't be good.
And then your bus driver did what?
The bus driver then bought us a bottle of Fireball. And he said, this should be done by the time the concert rolls around.
How many people you have?
We had 15.
That's a lot of booze.
That's too much booze.
And how many beers were in this cooler?
Oh, everybody brought like a case. Now,
that's a lot of
the
booze.
Next morning when I kind of went through the inventory.
That's like a college weekend, man.
It was horrible. We went through the inventory the next morning. There's tons of Jell-O shots left. There's zero moonshine. And I only had like 2 drinks of that, so I don't know who was sipping that. And then the Fireball was gone. But I'm like, there's still some beer left. I said, I think we did pretty well.
Round 2?
We had a great time. It was so fun.
What did Def Leppard close with?
Now you're asking particulars. You can't ask particulars there.
The best part, the best song.
Pour Some Sugar on Me always.
Yeah.
It always rocks. And I love Animal. Like when that comes on, I'm always a big fan of that one. Photograph. It's just some of those classics, man. But when that Pour Some Sugar comes on, you're just like, yep.
Now, does Def Leppard have a new album?
I don't think
like,
so.
Are they like because whenever you have those like legendary rock bands, they have like a new album that's not very good.
No, they're just making money, right?
Yeah, I mean, why would you? You don't need to make new music.
This is like right before retirement. Just go out and make another $1 million. That's exactly what they're doing. But we had a great time. It was a long weekend, fun weekend, and I'm glad that it's done. I did find out one thing. So my niece is 19 and 16, and then my son is 17 and 10. So that's a pretty wide range there, right?
You got the teen years covered.
Yeah, and there's nothing to do in St. Louis for kids that are 16, 17, 19 years old.
All right.
Nothing.
Teenagers, if they're in high school, listen, I was one of these.
Yeah.
They'll find the most exciting things where there's everything boring.
Well, right, exactly.
This isn't entertaining
like
me.
We talked about doing a helicopter ride on the Mississippi. There was a little bit of a wait. Then we were going to do the boat ride up and down the Mississippi. We really don't want to do that, Uncle Lon. All right. So then we went and ate. Then we went and found, we were going to do the brewery tour. It was a 2-hour wait. I'm like, guys, let's just head back to Ballpark Village. So we went back there. I'm like, well, do you want to do that bar? Now, this sounds bad, but there's that bar 365 on the hill. And I just wanted to go up and look, let them look down. 1, nope, no 3. I'm like, you know what? Let's just
see, this is where the moms come in handy with the planning.
Yes, they do. And I had done no planning. And all I was trying to do was be the cool Uncle Lon. And the whole time I'm like, I kept looking at my nieces like, I'm sorry. They're like, we're fun. We're having a fun time. So I'm like, all right. So we had a good time at the game. We went home. I got a thank you out of it, and that's all that mattered.
There you go.
So it's a good weekend.
Got to spend time with them.
Yeah,
that's all
so
that
I'm
matters.
back. I'm back. I did have the Monday voice, by the way.
Well, now it's Tuesday,
yes,
so we got another day to cover that. There is a lot of Illinois football news
what's
we'll
going
get
on?
to, but Russell Westbrook wins the NBA MVP. Not a shock there.
Not at all.
But James Harden obviously was deserving as well. Our boy Brett Dawson of the Oklahoman will join us in the 4 o'clock hour at 4:05
Very cool.
to talk about that. He was at the NBA Awards show last night. He was tweeting out all the pictures of all the NBA greats walking the red carpet.
That's awesome.
Interested to see what he thought of that night. Also, Malcolm Hill is going to be in Summer League with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we'll ask Brett a little bit about that and to kind of give us a look as somebody who covers the NBA now. Of course, Brett used to cover Illinois for the News-Gazette. Just kind of look at what's next for the NBA. I mean, it seems like everybody besides the Cavs and maybe the Spurs is kind of looking 3 years down the future just to see if they can eventually get a contender after the Warriors and LeBron thing is done.
That'll be fun. And if you had a dry eye after watching Monty Williams and what they did for that was really cool. Andrew and I watched that thing, and that was a really neat. I thought they did a good show. I loved the mix of Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, and of course Drake. Like, I didn't even know who that was Drake.
Yeah.
Until halfway through, and I'm like, oh, that's Drake.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was doing a project.
Oh, yeah, I watched it all.
Working on
I got you covered.
That would not have been on my radar.
No, but Andrew wanted to watch it.
I saw some of the highlights, including Russ's speech, and Bill Russell had a nice little moment there.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
When he looked at those other 4 or 5 guys and basically said what he did, like, I would kick your you-know-what. It brought the house down, and it was great. It's weird to see those guys looking older. You know what I'm saying? Like David Robinson looks older, and I'm like, wow, he's like my age.
It's about time to shave that head, David Robinson.
Yes, it is. Yeah, just let it go. Let it go. But I got you covered on that. It'll be fun to talk to Brett, though, about see what's on the landscape right now.
I was listening in the car on the ride home yesterday. That was a great end to that Cubs-Nationals game, a thrilling end.
Wow.
And a big win for the Cubs, who I think obviously needed it worse than the Nationals. But we'll talk Cubs. It's out of Sharma, the Athletic. We'll talk about Schwarber. Javi Baez was unbelievable in the field. And, you know, I don't know if we talked about that a lot as him as a prospect coming up. It was more.
It was all about his bat.
40 home run guy, high strikeout, but I mean, his glove is ridiculous everywhere, and that's why it's got so much value.
And I think that's what really stood out for him last year in the playoffs. When you watched him in the playoffs, I mean, he was the juggernaut for that team. Not the juggernaut. He was the spark plug for that team last year. I know Schwarber coming back was huge, but Baez was the story in my mind. Yeah. And, the way he does the sweep tag, I mean, just things like that he can take runs off the board defensively, and that's huge. And I know that he still has some issues with that bat, but man, Javi Baez has got a lot of talent. And it's funny that coming up, it was like, well, I guess that'd be one guy you could trade. And then there was that little era in there, that little time frame where it was like, no way we're getting rid of him. And then I've heard people say, well, maybe Baez again. I'm like, no.
Austin Berkland's our Cubs fan here. I want to get his opinion of this. Who do you value more? Javi Baez or Addison Russell?
That's a good question.
Just for the surefireness of his defense, I'm going Addison Russell. Addison makes everything look so smooth in the field whenever his shoulder's not bothering him. And that, to me, is way more valuable than the electric plays that Javier Baez can make. Smoothness always wins out over the
consistency,
yes.
Right? It's just that bat. I thought that bat was going to be better by now with Addison. I didn't think
Addison Russell's bat is struggling right now, but I do think that he will make a jump after the All-Star break. He's had similar struggles in the first parts of each of his 2 seasons now in Major League Baseball.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes, these are good problems to have.
Hashtag Cubs problems.
I mean, they're both.
That's why we got rid of Glaber.
right. And then you got Ian Happ now that could take over second. I mean, it's unbelievable what they have.
Javi's 24. Addison Russell's 23.
That's sick.
Who's better, Wade Davis or Aroldis Chapman?
Ooh.
I mean, Wade Davis, before that injury, that was the only question with him, right?
Yes.
But think of the price you gave up for a whole year of Wade Davis. It was Jorge Soler.
Yeah.
While the Yankees, what you gave up for Chapman, Gleyber Torres, who obviously got hurt.
Right, but still.
That's one of the top prospects in baseball.
Yes.
The value that you got for Wade Davis for just 1 year was better than what you gave up for Chapman. I mean, Wade Davis has been lights out.
Of course, Chapman did his job, though, right? I mean,
absolutely.
He did what he needed to do, and he helped you get a World Series. But it's hard for me still to say I wouldn't take Chapman because I honestly still to this day, not often do you see somebody, really groove him up or really hit him hard.
There's also a sexiness factor to Aroldis Chapman.
There is.
Is there not?
I mean, when you're throwing 104 miles an hour, and you know that nobody wants to face that. Not one left-handed hitter wants to face him, whereas I would think as a hitter, I'm trying to put myself in that, and I know Major League hitters don't worry about this, but, I mean, who do you think, as they go to the plate, who do you think they have a better shot against? I would assume Davis.
Well, here you go. Wade Davis, since 2014. 2014 ERA in 72 innings, 1. Wow. 2015, 0.94. 2016, 43 innings, 1.87.
Crazy.
This year, 2.0. Now you compare that to Aroldis Chapman, 2.0, 1.6, 1.5, 3.1. I mean, they're both ridiculous.
They're both really
I'm
good.
just saying, it's a lot closer than people probably think.
I would agree.
I mean,
would have never thought that.
Probably 2 best relievers, along Kimbrel's in that category as well. The last 3-4 years.
And then what do? In Theo, we trust, right? Mm-hmm. He goes out, knows you need one more piece to solve a World Series problem, and he goes and gets it. He addresses it. Yes, you gave up something, but guess what you have? You have that trophy. You have everybody else shutting up about the 107, 108, whatever it was years. And then he turns it right around and goes out and gets a guy like Wade Davis. I mean, Theo Epstein, he can identify exactly what he needs, and he's done a great job with it.
All right, tonight you got a good one, maybe, for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer's on the hill. I keep saying the second best pitcher in the world. He's in contention for another Cy Young this year against Jake Arrieta. We'll see if Arrieta can be the good Arrieta tonight. And then Cardinals Diamondbacks, you can hear here loud and clear on ESPN Radio 93.5. It's an 8:40 start. Whenever it's in Mountain Time, it's always a weird starting time. But you got your ace, Carlos Martinez, on the hill against Taijuan Walker. Throws hard, but doesn't throw many different pitches, so you can take him deep. But Carlos Martinez, nice to have your ace on the hill trying to win 3 in a row.
Hey, man, isn't it funny, though, when you say those two things? I think of the Cubs Nationals and how glamorous that is and how excited, even as a Cardinals fan, I am to watch that showdown. And then you're like, oh, and the Cardinals play the Diamondbacks.
But the Diamondbacks
are really good. I know that.
The Diamondbacks, I mean, the NL West has 3 of the top 4 teams in baseball.
Yeah, these are teams you got to beat if you're the Cardinals.
The Dodgers are on a ridiculous run right now. The Diamondbacks 49-28. You get to see Paul Goldschmidt,
yes,
who might be the MVP.
Yep.
Cody Bellinger obviously in that discussion as well. And then Colorado's 47-32. Those are the 3 best teams in the NL, and only the Houston Astros are the only other team in the top 4.
That's crazy. I mean, it's good baseball tonight and good pitching. I mean, Arrieta, we know that he's, gone down a notch or 2, but he can still step up when he needs to. And, of course, Scherzer and watching Carlos Martinez. That's fun baseball tonight. Yes, I will be drawn to that tonight.
We'll talk with Saad of Sharma, the Athletic, at 5:30 about the Cubs. Brett Dawson, the Oklahoman, at 4:05. We'll do Tay's Take today. It's been a while since we've had a 5 o'clock hour on a Tuesday, so we'll do Tay's Take. Send any random question you have for Juan Tay to our text line at 217-359-2255. Just put Tay's Take in your question. You can text those again, 217-359-2255. Is Illinois football gaining some recruiting momentum?
What in the world is going on here?
Got some new guys to talk about, and is Illinois back in on a major in-state prospect? We'll talk about that coming up. You can always weigh in 359-2255 on the Jupiter's Crossing phone line or the Chief Bauer text line. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app. Watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. Get our podcast at espncu.com or find us in iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance.
Great stuff there. And those podcasts, man, a lot of people are out listening to them, and we appreciate that. We appreciate all our listeners, and we appreciate all the podcasts. I know a lot of people work, and they don't have a chance to listen live, so they go back and podcast, and that's really, really cool. All right, Brett Dawson, again, the Oklahoman. We'll talk some NBA with him, and Saad of Sharma from The Athletic talking Chicago Cubs as we roll along. If you want to weigh in, again, 359-2255. Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point with Dave Rothenberg and Mike Golick.
How much excitement is there in Vegas about the Raiders?
They're very excited. Not only NFL, NHL, the Golden Knights are starting there. They had the expansion draft. Yeah, everybody there is very excited. I think it's great just for the fact that we're past the stigma of Vegas and Sin City and gambling. Because one of the things I had first said when everybody was like, oh, my God, football players going to play a game in Vegas and going to be in Vegas by the Strip and all the strip clubs and everything. I'm like, they can get that anywhere. So we're to think that, well, listen, some people certainly will give into the temptation.
Dabble.
Okay, but then you know what? That's on them. You're a professional in whatever you are a professional in. You're going to just succumb to that and get yourself in any kind of trouble? I mean, please.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Introducing the new Lucky Charms Shake at Burger King. It's a mix of hand-spun vanilla-flavored soft serve, tasty bits of Lucky Charms cereal, and memories of watching Saturday morning cartoons in your PJs. The new Lucky Charms Shake at Burger King. Relive your childhood in a cup. Maybe it's the magical marshmallow pieces flying up your straw. Maybe it's the magically delicious taste. Whatever the reason, it's a good reason to head over to a Burger King restaurant and try one now. Only at Burger King. Also, try the Fruit Loop Shake now at Burger King. Shakes available for a limited time only. Participation varies.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a Wix filter for $32.99 and get a $10 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. Protect your engine from sludge and wear with the Castrol and Wix Oil and Filter Special at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The past several years have been tough, but out of hardship come innovation, enterprise, and confidence. Busey is committed to giving business startups an extra push. Our small business initiative supports entrepreneurs whose businesses will bring vibrancy to our communities. Micro business can have macro impact. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Game Day Spirit, located at 1422 South Neal Street, will be moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. Shop closeout sales and save up to 40% off before they move. Everything will be marked down at least 20% off, including name brands such as Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. These deals will be available at the South Neal Street location only from June 30th to July 9th. Shop early for the best selection. T-shirts as low as $6, 30% off headwear, and 40% off all local high school apparel. Follow Game Day Spirit on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to stay in the know of all things game day and all things Fighting Illini.
Winning can be fun, and we love giving away free stuff, but we want to make sure it's fair for everyone. So here are the rules when competing to win on ESPN 93.5. No purchase necessary. Prize must be collected within 30 days during business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2702 Boulder in Urbana. ESPN Radio assumes no liability due to circumstances beyond our control, and any prize may be substituted with a prize of equal or greater value. Winners are liable for any taxes, tips, or other miscellaneous charges associated with the prize. All contestants must have a valid ID and social security number. Our judges' decisions are final and reserve the right to end any contest at any time for any reason without notice. In the event that a contestant is found to be ineligible for a prize, said prize will not be awarded. And if you win, we reserve the right to use your likeness or voice on the radio or online, and any winners must wait 30 days to win again. Get a complete list of rules and more information on any contest on ESPN Radio at ESPNCU.com. Those are the rules, and good luck from ESPN 93.5.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. Illinois has landed another commitment out of Florida. They signed 3-star defensive back Ron Harge III from Cardinal Gibbons High School. He is from the same school as other 2018 commit Carlos Sandy. Harge had offers from Indiana, Kansas, NC State, Rutgers. This is Illinois' 7th commitment of the class. The Cubs had a wild ride last night versus the Nationals. Wilson Contreras hit a leadoff homer, but the Cubs gave up 4 runs after taking a 5-0 lead into the 9th inning. They ended up closing it down behind Wayne Davis in that same 9th inning. The Cubs will take on the psychopath pitcher himself, Max Scherzer, tonight from D.C. Game time is 7:15. Listen on US 105.9. Randall Grichuk is on a 2-game homer streak. They played the Reds to an 8-2 win as part of a rainout earlier in the year. The Cardinals traveled to the West Coast to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks at 8:40 Central. Wainwright only allowed 1 earned run in his previous start Friday. The Cardinals will have to watch out for Paul Goldschmidt. He has 2 home runs in 11 at-bats off of Wainwright. The Yankees defeated the White Sox 6-5, but the Sox can take solace on Aaron Judge not hitting a homer. Jose Quintana takes them out tonight against the Yankees. He has a 2.25 ERA in 4 starts in June. The Blackhawks will re-sign Vil Polka and let Daniel Rasmussen walk. Adrian Wojnarowski of Yahoo Sports and The Vertical is reporting that Boston is going after Gordon Hayward and Paul George. If Boston can't lure Hayward, they will go after Blake Griffin. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
Hey, the Cardinals host the Nationals 4th of July weekend and celebrate it with great promotions, including a 1967 World Series beer stein, replica 1942 World Series ring, and a dope patriotic cowboy hat. That screams St. Louis Cardinals. America. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
It is the Tay and J Show. I think I have to clear it with one of my boys, but I think I have a Bob Gibson bobblehead for us. That was the giveaway Saturday down in St. Louis, and I'm going to tell you right now, it looks nothing like Bob Gibson. It looks nothing like Bob Gibson. I'm like, oh, well, what the heck? You can't get them all right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have some of that. I still say this, St. Louis kicks butt when it comes to giveaways awesome. And promotions. They do a great job down there for that.
All right, we got Taste Take at 5:45. Any random question you can send on the text line to 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. Illinois football.
I lost track. I could not stay up with Twitter. I was like, what is going on here?
Might have a little bit momentum. I don't know if we use that word, but we're getting a little bit more clarity to the class of 2018. But before we get there, they've added to the class of 2017. They have now jumped onto the newest trend, and I don't know if anybody saw ESPN College Game Day did a story on this, how Australia is producing a lot of kickers and punters. And they're producing some of the best punters. The Ray Guy Award winner, I forgot it, Mitch Wisnowski out of Utah is from Australia. He came out of this program, Pro Kick Australia, because what Australia does, because of rugby, Australian rules football, and soccer, they produce really strong legs.
Isn't that amazing?
That do similar motions to what football punting is. And Illinois has signed Australian punter Blake Hayes. He's out of this Pro Kick Australia program. He's from Melbourne, Australia. He's already on campus here.
Wow.
So he's a scholarship kid, class of 2017, but he's produced in this program that has had great guys. Blake O'Neill out of Michigan famously had that big gaffe in the game where he lost the game because he went to rugby punt it.
That's right.
So there's a game sense kind of thing that even Blake talked about. They gotta get to understand, but he has a big lead. He's 6'6", 220.
Holy smoke!
He's a big kid. But this was a huge need in the class of 2017 for Illinois. They offered a couple scholarships to kids who turned them down. They went to other schools. So to get a talented leg this late is good for them, and he's going to have to play right away because they don't have much at punter right now. So they do add an Australian punter, and it's just the newest trend in football. There are so many programs doing this right now. Texas had a punter. Michigan had a punter. Utah. The Ray Guy Award winner, like I said, Wisnowski, was from Australia. So this is kind of the new thing, and Illinois is kind of latching onto that. And it's interesting, Lon, how you have a football staff now and a basketball staff that have both gone international in the last month.
And it almost felt like you're a little bit behind the times with that, right? Yeah. As you look around, although really when you do it for basketball, there's a few out there, Gonzaga being the leader with regards to taking advantage of international.
Arizona's done it.
Arizona's done it a lot, no doubt.
Obviously with Markkanen, who just came out of there, and Michigan now is on it with Mo Wagner and all those guys.
Good call. So you almost feel like this is the trend moving forward. You better either jump on it and take advantage, or at least put your toe in the water and see what you can find. And for Illinois to do this, even now in football, is huge. And what we talk about, like when Lovie Smith was hired, you know this better than me because you're a Bears fan and you watched the Bears more than I did when Lovie was there, but he is a special teams guy. Yeah. He loves special teams. And I know we talk about turnovers and special teams. We haven't seen that yet, but you need athletes to get turnovers. And you just special teams, you just need to be prideful of those and win them, and now hopefully this kid can help.
You're leading me right into they need athletes to get those turnovers. They need some playmakers in the secondary, and so far in this class, they now have two defensive backs who are long, lanky, and athletic.
I like
it.
They
just added another 3-star cornerback, Antoine Walker from Oswego East, committed earlier this month. Now Ron Harge III, he goes by R3.
I like it.
He committed last night. He's teammates with 3-star wide receiver commit Carlos Sandy out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They play at Cardinal Gibbons, which is a really good football program. Those two have played football together since they were 10 years old.
Got it.
And the plan always has been to keep doing that going into college. So,
that's really cool.
Ron Harge III fits exactly what Illinois wants. Athletic, playmaker, 6'1", 170. We'll have to add some strength, but he's not afraid to hit either. So he's a good fit. When we use that word so much, but it is so important to fit what they're trying to do defensively. And now Tony Adams, Nate Hobbs, Antoine Walker, Ron Harge III, these are all fits for that defensive backfield where they're all over 6 foot. They're all athletic. They all had a bunch of interceptions in high school. So I think this is a nice get for Illinois. And yes, like Carlos Sandy, he had several Power 5 offers.
That's huge.
So Illinois, I know that was a thing, that Illinois wasn't landing anybody with other Power 5 offers. Ron Harge III had Indiana, Mississippi State, some other, it was like 5 or 6 Power 5 programs.
And that's the other thing with Lovie we talk about. I talked about special teams, that he was great with special teams. You said that right when he got here about how Jalen Dunlap is like the perfect cornerback kind of for him. Maybe not perfect.
Needs to be more, he's not the greatest athlete, but he's big, long, and physical.
And that's, and that's what Lovie loves. He likes that big and strong, and And not only that, but long. And that's huge in the cornerback. And when you think about playing defense in the Big Ten and going, a lot of times if you're going to stop the run, you got to put a lot of guys in the box and you got to leave guys on islands. And that's where you're starting to see maybe some more athletic. And what's the one thing? I mean, the last 4 or 5 years as I sit in that end zone in the horseshoe and watch Illinois go sideline to sideline, they're so slow. There's just the athleticism is not there, and it doesn't take somebody, to be that smart to see it. And size. And to be able to add that and to be able to get guys that are a little bit more athletic, I know that sometimes those guys you have to teach, and I know sometimes you kind of have some punishment with them in terms of maybe they make a mistake that another guy wouldn't because they're almost going too fast, but I'd rather that. I'd rather dial somebody down.
Can't coach size and speed.
No, you can't.
And you brought in an NFL staff, right, to coach these kids
That's
up.
That's exactly right.
Go get length, go get size, go get speed.
They are living in Florida right now.
They have now, this is the 10th player to commit to Illinois from Florida since Lovie Smith has been here. And it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a staff that has connections. They have name recognition in Florida. They have familiarity with Florida. I mean, Lovie Smith, with all his time in Tampa, he has a house down in Tampa.
Right.
Hardy Nickerson was an all-pro linebacker for the Bucs. Donnie Abraham was a Pro Bowl cornerback for the Bucs. Thad Ward is from Tallahassee, right? So they have connections there. They have deep connections there. They have names that resonate down there. So it makes sense. I mean, Illinois has been their go-to spot, right?
Sure.
And they have had 14 kids either sign or commit with Illinois from the state of Illinois since Lovie Smith got here. But right behind there, Florida's their home away from home.
Without a doubt.
And that's a good place to go get talent.
And I know it's not overnight. You can't make connections overnight. And that's why when you look at a lot of these guys, I know Lovie spent a lot of time as the Bears coach. How much of that time he actually talked to high school coaches, I have no idea. I'm sure a little bit, but not in terms of probably what he did in Florida and got to know people down there. So you could almost look at Florida as being your home state here for a year or two until this coaching staff gets a lot more connections in this state of Illinois.
Well, I think they've done pretty well in the state.
I agree.
We got to put last year into this too. And
yes.
They did pretty well for a first year in state. They're struggling with some of the top guys.
Okay.
Right? And they're struggling with some of those Chicago suburbs. Is where they're really struggling because Iowa, Wisconsin, a lot of those schools have been entrenched there
for so long.
Yeah, and Illinois is going to have to win some games.
Without a doubt.
To win some of those kids over. But as we look at this 2018 class and we kind of take inventory of it, all of a sudden with 5 commits this month, they have 7 commitments.
Okay.
They had 5 at this point last year.
Wow.
And that was in a 25-man class. This is going to be a 16 to 20-man class, and they already got 7 commits.
Okay.
And all of them are going to be 3-star recruits. Jakari Norwood isn't ranked on our site yet, but he's going to be a 3-star recruit. And it has a lot of similarities to last year. I mean, Cam Thomas and Karan Taylor both did not have Power 5 offers from anywhere else.
Good call.
Vidarian Lowe and Julian Pearl were both kind of project offensive linemen. Though Julian Pearl's like 235 and Vidarian Lowe was like 365. So there's a difference in weight there, but they were both kind of projects.
Yeah.
Kendall Smith and Antoine Walker, both kind of kids from the state that Illinois needs to land. Then they found their camp finds like Mark Mondesir and Jordan Slaughter. So they kind of have similarities.
That's neat.
What they don't have is a Ricky Smalling.
Yes.
That's what they don't have yet is that in-state or even out-of-state big name that's going to attract other people here.
Oh, but wait. There may be one that we know about down south that we thought we lost, and now maybe you're back in with a certain tight end. And that's the other thing with who's the big guy at IMG? Vertus Brown. I mean, you still in this class, and we'll talk about the tight end. In this class, you still need a couple of, what do you call it? Kind of the spotlight guys of the class, if you will.
Yeah.
That class last year had it, and now you look at this class, and there's still a couple of guys that could be that. Where you look at the class overall and say, all right, the strength of the class is solid, but don't forget these 2 or 3 guys that could really shine.
Yeah, I've thought all along that Vertus Brown is a kind of kid that's different.
Yes.
That has all these big-time offers, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, but he keeps coming back to campus.
Right.
Which means the interest is genuine. There is a connection there. There is a comfortability there. I think they can land him. I think it's going to be an Illinois-Ohio State battle.
Wow.
Illinois would like to get that done soon because you land Vertus and you can sell that to all these other recruits.
Huge.
There's kids out of St. Louis, whether it's Ronnie Perkins, Dallas Craddock, Cameron Brown, these kids that have good offers. I think Craddock might be the most gettable out of those kids because he doesn't have Alabama,
right?
Ohio State kind of schools like that the other kids have. But getting a kid like Vertus Brown or Luke Ford, the 4-star tight end, top 100 prospect out of Carterville, Illinois is not going to have a class full of 4- and 5-star recruits.
No.
But that's okay for me. Iowa built a great program on 3-star recruits and adding some 4s and 5s every once in a while into the mix. Michigan State, those great teams they had, bunch of 3-star recruits.
That's exactly right.
You build their culture, you find the right fits. I know that's a buzzword, but you find the right fits for your scheme, the right fits for your culture. You can have a really good program, but you do need a couple really good talents. Right? And Luke Ford
is one of those.
Tweets out a picture just with where my Illinois fans at. He gets about 200 replies, a couple hundred retweets, 1,500 likes.
Wow.
And I talked with him yesterday. The interest is genuine.
Okay.
There's genuine interest because he visited Illinois. It was his first visit. And if you haven't seen Luke Ford or highlights of him, the hype is worth it.
Yes.
I've seen this kid up close. He's 6'5", 6'6", a legit 230 something
speed
already.
Of a wide receiver.
Yeah, he probably about a 4.8 speed, but at his size, he's got great athleticism, smooth in and out, and he's physical as a blocker. He's the complete package.
Without a doubt.
He visited Illinois and thought about committing on the spot.
Right.
But his family wanted him to go take another visit to Arkansas, was wowed by their facilities, was wowed by their evidence of how they used the tight end.
They've got a lot in the NFL.
And despite Alabama, other schools having offered, he committed on the spot.
Okay.
That was a mistake.
Right.
For him because Alabama offers, Ohio State offers, all these other Texas has come on. So he wanted to go visit other places, and Brett Bielema didn't want him to do it, so he decommitted.
Okay.
And opened it up again. He's still considering Arkansas. But he told me, unprovoked yesterday, he messaged me and said, I'm really thinking about Illinois a lot lately.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, so I don't know. They will be in the running.
Okay.
They have work to do.
Yeah,
but there is an emotional pull to Illinois. There's also he would play right away.
Yes.
He's got a bravado. Luke Ford's got a star personality. And I do think he would love the attention.
Okay.
And being the star of a class, I think that appeals to him. And I think helping Lovie Smith, I mean, he loves the staff. He loves Lovie Smith. Luke Buckus has done a good job. Garrick McGee has done a good job. Bob Lugashevsky has done a good job. They made an impression on him. The two things they don't have that all these other programs have besides wins is facilities and proof of how they use the tight end.
And that was what I was going to go with next. He said that, right? He wants to see how Illinois uses a tight end.
And that's tricky.
That is tricky.
Because you don't have great tight ends.
No, you don't.
You got some young guys I think could be good down the road. Griffin Palmer, a redshirt freshman, I think can be a nice contributor. Lewis Dorsey, they recruited, great athlete. They're both freshmen.
Right.
I've never played in the Big Ten before. So I don't think you're going to have a tight end that's going to have 50 catches this year.
Correct.
Luke Ford would come in 2018 and be your starting tight end.
Isn't that crazy?
But, Arkansas has touted how they have the only program that has 2 Mackey Award winners. One of those, DJ Williams, won the Mackey Award, top tight end in the country.
Right.
Playing for Garrick McGee.
Interesting.
So
there you go.
So you can show that. I think you can also highlight some freshman talent this year.
Yep.
Say, hey, we didn't have a Ricky Smalling before. This is how we used him in our offense. We're going to use weapons. We're going to use mismatches in our offense. But Illinois has got some work to do. Ford's going to be a signing day decision, most likely, announcement, most likely. But I do think Illinois is going to have an opportunity here. I think they're going to be in his top 5. I think they're going to he's going to visit this summer. I think he'll visit for a game this year. But he would be big. It'd be nice to get him earlier, to get him on board and get some other people around him. But maybe Vertus can be that. But I didn't think Illinois was going to really have a chance. I was told when he decommitted that, hey, Illinois has got an opportunity.
Okay.
The last couple of weeks, and I heard it's genuine.
Okay.
This kid has genuine interest in Illinois. I do think he likes the attention.
Yeah.
But I do think that attention that he gets from Illinois, unlike some other fan bases, could help them, too.
There's a few thoughts I have on this. Number one, that's huge to hear that he watched a DJ Williams do that in a Garrick McGee offense.
Now,
I think
Illinois
that's
needs
huge.
to sell that.
Absolutely. They've got to sell that. They've got to sell who's going to be throwing to him. Not only now, not only in 2 years, but down the road. Who is going to be my quarterback?
I mean, Chase Crouch and Cam Thomas, those are big question marks.
Exactly.
When you can go to some of these other programs that could have elite quarterbacks.
So you watch that and you see that. The other thing that I've always thought when I've seen this kid is I've always wondered, and I do not take this is not a rip on Luke Ford at all. In fact, I think it's a great thing. He loves the attention. And why not? Why not if you're a kid out of Carterville, Illinois, and you're that good? And that's not a slight on Carterville. Beautiful town down in southern Illinois. If you're
there.
Right on Crab Orchard. I lived there. Look at that, huh? I mean, how big is that? Yeah, right. So, he's a kid that I think is enjoying the aspect of getting his name out there, and he wants to see love come his way. And I don't blame him. And then you make a lot of sense when you say you could see him being the kind of guy that wants to be that guy of that class. That makes sense
because
to me.
If he goes to Alabama.
Yep, he's just one of the other recruits.
He's one of the 10, 12 top 100 guys.
That's exactly right.
And he's got to compete with some of the top tight ends in the country, which could make him better. If he goes to Arkansas, he's a big get. He's a big get for anybody.
Oh, sure he is.
But at Illinois, he's the get.
Yep.
Right? He is the guy. He is the guy they're putting on posters probably right away here at Illinois.
And not that
he is a legit.
Yes, he is.
Top 5. I think for me, I haven't seen all the tight ends in the country.
Okay.
For me, seeing this kid up close, it's hard to imagine there being a better tight end somewhere else. He's just ridiculous.
I recall you the first day we looked at his tape. I'm like, yikes. I mean, he's running away from kids as a 6'5" tight end. Now here's the other thing. Not that Lovey needs help. Not that Garrick McGee and these guys need help with this. But there's a certain guy at the University of Illinois that's a former tight end that played in the NFL and knew how to get to the NFL. And he's a certain guy that I'd love to get in that same room with Luke Ford, and that's Josh Whitman. That's not a bad thing either, is it? I mean, to be able to say, you know what? Hey, Josh, you mind coming to say hi to Luke Ford? This is Josh Whitman. He played in the NFL.
They've talked.
I bet. I bet they have.
The family has met Josh Whitman.
And aren't you excited as an Illini fan to know that
And they were blown away by Josh.
Exactly. I mean, I'm excited to have Lovie Smith in that door. But to also with a guy that's specific to a tight end and coming to Illinois, hopefully.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to land him.
Yeah.
You got to beat Alabama, Arkansas, LSU.
I mean, come on.
All of these programs, right? But here's what I will say to people that really doubt where this thing is going recruiting wise. Like I was just talking about, we took inventory of how this compares to last year, and last year ended up pretty good. I get some, hey, this isn't great yet. I get that.
Right.
You are getting into conversations where you're in a top group for a guy like Luke Ford. You are getting into conversations where you're in a top group for a guy like Vertus Brown.
Yeah.
Right? Where you might be in the top 2 for Vertus Brown. You landed Kendrick Green last year when Tim Beckman wouldn't have been able to pull that
You're
off.
not getting those with the other staff.
You're landing these Bobby Roundtree, right? Owen Carney, Carmani Green. We haven't seen those guys prove it yet, but you didn't even have a chance at those guys before.
Not at all.
You have a chance at those kids, and if you lock up a couple a year and you get the right fits and they're good evaluators, this thing could be good in 3 or 4 years. Now, it's going to take a while.
Sure.
But it could be good in a couple years.
Wouldn't it be fun to see what could happen with wins? Yeah. What could happen with wins? It would be fun as a fan just to have those wins, but then the trickle effect of what happens with recruiting down the road when you're winning. We haven't seen that much, and it would be interesting to not only go in with the ammunition of this staff and in a staff that knows how to get kids to the NFL, that coached in the NFL, if you give them the ammunition of 6-7 wins.
Everyone talks about Ron Zook's 2007 class where he had Martez and Regis. I get that. Those two were 5 stars you got out of nowhere, right? And it excited everybody. Huge. And Regis was a ridiculously good player. That recruiting class didn't end up great.
No.
It was the next 2. After you went to the Rose Bowl, where you were deep, you had so many 3-star, 4-star prospects that ended up NFL players, that's when Illinois really cashed in, and that's what made it so disappointing that Zook couldn't win with those guys. If Lovey could get that going, and then you hope he's a better coach than Ron Zook. Right? I mean, then you can get something going.
And then we'll see what happens. But those are a couple of names to keep your eye on. And again, Luke Ford, and he loves the attention, Illinois fans. I know fans everywhere are eager to tweet at these kids.
It's against the NCAA rules, by the way.
He loves it. He likes that favorite. When you hit that little heart, he loves it. So I guess keep doing it with regards to Luke Ford.
We'll talk with Brett Dawson, the Oklahoman, starting next hour about Russell Westbrook winning the MVP. He was at the NBA awards ceremony last night. We'll ask him about Malcolm Hill's opportunity on their summer league team, and we'll ask him about the offseason ahead for the NBA and where this is all going with the Cavs and the Warriors just kind of dominating the sport.
When we come back, I'm going to kind of pick your brain a little bit more on maybe who would be next for Illinois football with regards to some of these recruits and how much more are they going to live in Florida even the rest of this year. I know that'll never change going forward, but are there some other? I also want to ask you about in-state. Who's left in state that Illinois still has a shot on? I know TJ Ivey is off the books. He's the guy that you would have loved to have gotten as a tight end. So we'll kind of get a little more traction as to what's next for Lovie Smith and this crew. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. It's the Tay and J Show.
Get strong and stay strong at your Champagne Curves. Ladies, rethink your fitness strategy. Let your Curves coach show you the health and beauty benefits that working out offers. For a limited time, new members can join. Get personal instruction and your best body all summer long for just $10. 30-minute cardio, strength training, stretching, and meal planning can get you where you want to be this season. Curves is for women only. At last, feel free to sweat. Curves, when you just want to work out. Located behind Biaggi's in Champaign. Call or go to curves.com today.
Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series, and maybe sooner than we think.
It's our trip to Wrigley Field, Chicago. You can join us on Wednesday, July 5th. The Cubbies take on Tampa Bay at 1:20. Our trip to see the world champion Chicago Cubs. Rooftop tickets and motor coach to Chicago. All your food and beverages are included. Pay online or come by the Stevie J Broadcasting Studios to pay by check. All your details at StevieJ.com. StevieJay.com.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
The Urbana Park District presents Neighborhood Nights through August 9th. This Wednesday night, June 28th, we will be out at Addie's at Stone Creek, 6:30 to 8 p.m. And the Live Jukebox will perform their pop hits and classic rock. Join us for free popcorn and lemonade, fun activities. You can meet Urbana Park District officials and find out what's going on. And we want to thank our sponsors, SJ Broadcasting, Urbana Moms, First Federal, and CUMTD. For details, you can visit our website at urbanaparks.org.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Now listen to this crowd. Wow, they're on their feet.
This 4th of July, the Cardinals have you covered head to toe in true patriotic fashion. On Sunday, July 2nd, fans can take home an adult patriotic cowboy hat, courtesy of Brown & Crouppen Law Firm. Monday, July 3rd, enjoy Cooper Tire's post-game fireworks. And Tuesday, July 4th, adults and kids can add patriotic Cardinals socks to their wardrobe, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Powerade. That's July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me, it's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead, do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
There's still time to sign up for the July 5th trip to the Wrigley Field rooftops. Great experience. And Stevie J is setting up this private Illinois charter motor coach to the Wrigleyville area. And then you'll go to the rooftop, and you have all the food and fun and drinks there, all inclusive.
That's awesome.
It's a great experience, and then they'll bring you back, so you don't have to drive at all. So you can enjoy a great view of the game with the Tampa Rays and enjoy all you care to eat and drink included. This is a July 5th game. You still have time to sign up for tickets. You can get more info at espncu.com.
No word if this bus will have moonshine on it. I'm going to guess that it won't, although Diane Ducey's kind of your host that day, and I know she gets fired up for those trips, so that will be fun. If you're a Cubs fan and you've never done a rooftop, listen, these things are not easy to get tickets for. They're very expensive. So to be able to not only get the chance to go do this and sit on a rooftop, but we're going to take you and bring you back, and it's all one neat little price. I mean, that's the perfect way to do that. Get a hold, take advantage, maybe a birthday gift for someone or even a Christmas gift down the road for somebody and pay it forward early. That could be fun. So take advantage of that and do that with the Chicago Cubs. Plus, you get to see the Rays.
Yeah, you asked me for a couple guys in state.
Yeah, is there anybody? Because TJ Ivey, I didn't call him my guy.
He kind of was your guy.
He kind of was. I wanted it because I want a tight end. I want a good tight end to see if Garrick McGee. I'm not drinking the orange Kool-Aid to think that a good tight end gets on campus and all of a sudden we're a tight end university.
Right.
But I think Garrick McGee obviously has shown in the past that he wants to utilize a tight end, and that's why I want him to have a weapon. Now, Luke Ford would be even better, but this TJ Ivey would have been good.
It's amazing. This state, most of these kids are committed already. I mean, and some of the other kids that aren't, Illinois isn't showing a lot of interest in.
Okay.
There are a couple kids I think you should watch out for. 2 offensive linemen that both play in the Big 12.
Okay.
Peoria offensive lineman Marcus Cox. He's coming off an ACL surgery.
That's right.
Which is why he doesn't have a lot more bigger offers. But he's 6'5", probably 6'6" at this point, 285 to 300 pounds. Big. I mean, when you see him, he is just a physical specimen.
Yes.
But he's coming off that surgery, so he's got to answer questions there. And, I mean, he's so big that he doesn't move that well yet. But I'm told that after the surgery, he's actually improving his athleticism, his explosion. So he's got to prove it probably during the fall season.
Fair enough.
But being in Peoria, Illinois needs offensive linemen. He's one to watch. Another is Marcellus Johnson out of Normal Community. He's about 6'4". He played at about 245, but he's bulked up to 265. Illinois saw him camp. They like his explosion. They like his athleticism. The strength isn't quite there.
Okay.
But he's going to keep bulking up. He did commit to Eastern Michigan over the weekend.
Got it.
But if Illinois comes calling, I think they can change his mind from going from the MAC to the Big Ten. So he's another kid to watch. But the state's pretty picked dry right now.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where Illinois struggled, was getting some of those top kids in state, whether it was Quincy Patterson, the quarterback, Devin O'Rourke, the defensive lineman, the kids from Chicago Marist, Gavin McCabe and TJ Ivey, and Gregory Newsom, who committed Northwestern as well. Those were some of the bigger misses.
And, of course, still hitting hard down in St. Louis, Florida, Texas. I know Lovey.
St. Louis, they've been shut out so far.
Okay.
There's a running back they like down there, Cannon Brooks, but there's still a couple kids. Caleb Bell will be the quarterback they were showing interest in.
Yeah.
Illinois backed off him. He committed to Western Michigan last night. I thought he was a solid prospect, but they're going for a little bit higher of a ceiling, and I get it because quarterback, Illinois needs a talent upgrade
they do.
there.
Tim Beckman and that staff did a pretty good job in Ohio.
Yeah.
Are they still using some of those connections? Not much. Okay.
Not much.
That makes sense.
This staff doesn't have much connections to Ohio.
And so you got to use what you know.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing. All right, when we come back, they had the first ever NBA awards last night, hosted by Drake. And our guy, Brett Dawson from the Oklahoman, of course, he used to cover Illinois for the News Gazette. He was there. We're going to ask him about Russell Westbrook winning MVP and the night's activities. We'll do that next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Hey, what are we doing for your birthday party this summer? Well, I was hoping to have a cookout like last summer. What? Don't you remember all those mosquito bites we got last year?
Good news, girls. Not only is Prairie View taking care of everyone's dandelions, now I'm going to take care of all their mosquitoes, too.
Yay!
Enjoy a bug-free summer. For all your mosquito control needs, call Lindy at Prairie View Landscaping and Turf Management at 355-9422. That's 355-9422 for mosquito control from Prairie View Landscaping.
During warm weather, you need your AC to keep you cool. See your Champagne CarX man right now for an air conditioning performance check starting at $29.99. At CarX Tire and Auto, we can handle everything your car needs from maintenance to repair. And we'll get your air conditioning running perfectly just in time for summer. So don't sweat it. See your CarX man at any of our 3 Champagne locations for a $29.99 air conditioning performance check. All your car needs is CarX Tire and Auto.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Hey, Sue, check out these sandals. I don't wear sandals. They're so cute.
Dry, cracked feet? Carousel Intensive Foot Repair doesn't just cover. Carousel removes hard, dry skin, then deeply moisturizes and actually repairs. Feet look good so fast you see a visible difference in just one day.
Sue, you look great in these sandals. Get them. Yeah.
Carousel Intensive Foot Repair in the foot care aisle. See the one-day difference.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Mike Cervantes, a K-9 officer with his dog Hunter. Mike Cervantes, how long have you been with the force?
Almost 11 years.
Don't people freak when they see a dog because the dog's going to know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they think,
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Because dogs don't smell it, right? The dog's smell and scent is incredible.
It is. It's significantly stronger than ours.
And so Hunter is retiring.
Hunter is retiring. Yep, June 8th will be his last night on shift.
Isn't that cute? The dog's retiring. This is your partner.
It is, yeah.
Well, how do you feel?
Well, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be not as smelly, but it's going to be weird not having him. I talked to him in the car. My sergeant reviewed some of my videos, and he says it's funny. Sometimes he'll hear me in there talking to the dog, and that's going to be just, I'm with him more than I'm with my own family. So
what's funnier is Hunter listens.
He does. Sometimes he talks back.
Brought to you by SK Exteriors, their website, callsktoday.com. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm Chris Foster.
We're going to see what we can do. We're getting very close.
President Trump, after meeting with Senate Republicans at the White House after a decision today to put off any votes on a health care bill. There's just not enough support for it at this point. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern at the Capitol.
Growing opposition from within Republican ranks has delayed any action on a Senate health care bill that GOP leaders intended to move on this week. But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell insists the repeal and replace effort is not dead.
No, we're continuing to talk about it. It's a very complicated subject.
Since the announcement that there won't be any vote until after the July 4th recess, additional Republicans have voiced opposition to the current health care proposal. It suggests McConnell is well short of the 50 votes needed to pass the measure. Chris.
Jared, thanks. At today's daily briefing, it was more White House versus the media.
Hours after news that a CNN report concerning alleged interactions between the Trump campaign and Russia was retracted, White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders went after what she called fake news and responded to reporters' claims that she was damaging the media's reputation.
I disagree completely. First of all, I think if anything has been inflamed, it's the dishonesty that often takes place by the news media.
Sanders also accused CNN of being a disgrace to journalism and cited a new undercover video in which a producer for the network suggested that the news media are sensationalizing its coverage of the Russia collusion story. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
Even with the Supreme Court decision to allow part of the president's travel ban to go forward, a State Department spokeswoman says refugees who've been vetted and approved to come to the U.S. and scheduled to fly here through July 6th will be allowed in. You're on the Fox Report. Fair and balanced.
Summer involves a lot of driving, to camp, to work, to soccer, back home to grab what they forgot, and then back to soccer again. So wouldn't you like to know your car is up for it? Enter Hum by Verizon. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics, drive with more peace of mind thanks to 24/7 emergency assistance, and let the kids stream and game on the go with your car's own Wi-Fi hotspot. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. Verizon Wi-Fi available on HumX only. Data usage applies. Coverage not available everywhere. Visit vzw.com for availability.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Bill Cosby is denying reports that he's going on tour to talk about his sexual assault case. In a statement, he calls those reports propaganda. There's a start date scheduled for a civil case against him.
Bill Cosby has a new court date for allegedly sexually assaulting a teenage girl at the Playboy Mansion more than 40 years ago. A California court has tentatively set a July 30th, 2018 date for the trial because of the recent mistrial and subsequent retrying of the 79-year-old comedian. In the California case, Judy Huth accuses the comedian of forcing her to perform a sex act on him in a bedroom at the Playboy Mansion in 1974 when she was 15 years old. The Pennsylvania case alleged Cosby drugged and molested a Temple University worker. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Today on Wall Street, the Dow down 98 points, the S&P closing down 19, the NASDAQ finishing down 100 points today, nearly 2%. Happy birthday to the automatic teller machine.
The world's first ATM began dispensing pounds 50 years ago in a street here in London. Customers had to feed in a paper voucher and tap in a code. British bank Barclays says from the get-go its prototype ATMs attracted vandalism, but they were popular. And by the 1970s, they offered more complex services such as bank statements. These days, it's hard to remember an age when you had to write a check to get cash. ATMs are found in even the world's poorest nations, giving people everywhere a chance to forget their PIN and lose their card. In London, Alistair Wanklin, Fox News.
Again, our top story, a vote on a Senate Republican health care plan has been delayed. There aren't enough votes to even move it forward procedurally. The president has met with Republican senators at the White House. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can find them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, a low of 51 degrees. Wow. Might need those heaters working. Tomorrow warms up, though, 89. A chance of thunderstorms, a low of 75. Warm on Thursday as well, high 85, a low of 72. Right now, mostly sunny, 78 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
As for our final award of the night to James, Kawhi, and Russell, on behalf of basketball fans everywhere, thank you. Throughout your remarkable seasons, you made us stop whatever we were doing and watch you play.
To Kawhi Leonard, guarded by Green. Leonard ties the ball game.
I thought Bertans was going to fire that ball to Jonathan Simmons and no one in front of him.
Leonard. Get your replay reel rolling.
Under by 3 with 7.1 remaining. Westbrook shows from the basketball, goes to the rim, and sticks the dagger into the Rockets.
Cantor was a terrific score off the bench. Here's a turnover. Butler.
Oh, Westbrook punches it out of bounds.
LKC has gathered themselves after the bad start. Oh, Harden throws it down. Harden downtown. Oh, at the buzzer.
And the winner of the 2017 Kia NBA Most Valuable Player Award is Russell Westbrook.
I want to thank the organization. Here somewhere, Mr. Bennett, Sam, Coach Donovan Weave, Coach Cheeks. I appreciate you guys believing in me, drafting me number 4 when nobody thought that was a great decision. Next, I want to thank my teammates. If y'all wouldn't mind, if you guys will come up here, I appreciate that. Vic, Dre, Ennis, Nick, Tosh. I can't say thank you enough. You guys sacrificed everything you've done in your life. Pops, OG, working 2 jobs, getting up at 4 in the morning, waking me up every night, going to the gym, shooting hoops outside, staying up late, playing the video games, man. To my mom from doing everything to keep our family together. My mom from doing everything to keep our family together. Truly blessed to have you as my mother. It's just so amazing. I couldn't be able to do none of this without you guys.
An emotional Russell Westbrook last night. Highlights courtesy of NBA.com. It was the first ever NBA awards. And Russell Westbrook in we don't know what the vote was, but he won the MVP. James Harden up for that award, as was Kawhi Leonard. It was kind of the suspense. Everybody waiting around for that. Russell Westbrook gets it done in, 46 double-doubles this year?
42,
or was it 42?
Which was a record.
Unbelievable. I love how they showed Oscar Robertson, too, as the last guy that averaged a triple-double in the NBA.
Let's get to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line, the guy who covered Russell Westbrook's MVP season and was at the NBA award show last night. Brett Dawson of the Oklahoman. Brett, what was the NBA award show like in person?
Well, I can't tell you exactly what it was like in person because we were in sort of like an adjacent room.
Okay.
So I wasn't like out there among the tables. So I was basically watching it on television like you were. I just got to talk to Russell Westbrook after, and I got to be out on the red carpet before. So the actual show itself, it's not like we had a little table where we were like hobnobbing with James Harden or anything.
That'd be cool.
I mean, what was the red carpet like? I mean, it's almost like it's the Oscars of the NBA now.
It was. It was a lot of, people talking about their outfits. That did happen. You had some John Wall and Allen Iverson appeared to have the same sunglasses, which was interesting. That's probably like a faux pas. They were probably both mad that the other guy had the same sunglasses on. But yeah, they had one thing I don't think they have at the Oscars is a station where guys could stop and they would put their feet in this little camera pit, and then this like it wasn't like a 360, but like a 180-degree camera would give you this like shot of their shoes.
I love it
because you had to be able to see what kind of shoes guys are wearing. So I don't think they have that at the Oscars, but maybe the Golden Globes.
Rihanna, go.
Yeah, there you go.
She looked pretty good there last night. Was that her? That was her last night, right? Rihanna? Heck yes.
Juan, do you know who Rihanna is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she sang last night, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, that was Nicki Minaj.
Oh, that was Nicki Minaj. That's my fault. Nicki Minaj, go.
Yeah, James Harden seemed to enjoy the Nicki Minaj performance.
Without a doubt. Well, listen, that was pretty cool seeing all that, and I guess I don't know if you'd call it suspense with the MVP, but certainly, I don't know in the last few years if we've had one that everybody wondered about, and of course, Westbrook wins it. He got pretty emotional. Brett, was he still pretty emotional after?
He was. It's been an emotional year for him, really, between Kevin Durant leaving and I think some of the pressure that was put on him for the first time in terms of being the sole centerpiece of a franchise. He kind of really came of age in the NBA with Durant and Serge Ibaka, and both those guys were gone this year, and he was left behind to just kind of be the main focal point of the organization for the first time in his career. And I think, getting them into the playoffs at a time when I think some people had some question about whether that was going to happen, given that they lost Durant for nothing. And having just had, he was very emotional talking about his family last night. He just became a father for the first time 6 weeks ago. So he's experiencing all that for the first time as well. He's on the other side of that sort of emotional bond with his family. And so I think it's all been kind of a crazy year. And he was pretty, he's a difficult guy during the year, there's no question. But when he's away from basketball and it's the off season, even in the preseason, he's this way. He can be pretty thoughtful, pretty reflective, pretty funny. And he was all those things yesterday.
What do you think we'll look back with this season of the NBA? I mean, was Russ the story of the regular season?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways he saved the regular season because it was a pretty compelling year. What he did, what James Harden did, the kind of battle that those guys had for MVP, it didn't end up being a particularly close race. I think Westbrook kind of clinched it down the stretch. He had the game winner at Denver that I think was probably the moment. He probably sealed it that day with the game-winning three-pointer, and on the same day that he broke the triple-double record. Just kind of amazing. The first true buzzer beater of his career on the day when he breaks Oscar Robertson's record. Probably sealed it for him. And it wasn't a particularly close race. I think he got 69 first-place votes to Harden's 22. But I think all the talk about that chase, that triple-double chase, about him kind of keeping the Thunder above water after Durant left, it made the season compelling in a way that I don't think it had any right to be, given that we knew who would be in the finals and we basically knew who would win. for most of the season. So I think Westbrook was really, he was the man of the regular season. It was his year in terms of an individual year, because those Golden State guys, everything kind of balanced out. LeBron is LeBron. He's always great, but his regular seasons are sometimes going to be, a lot of resting, a lot of getting ready and geared up for the playoffs. And so, I think if you talk about who was the guy this year that defined the regular season, to me, it was clearly Westbrook.
Brett, how does he back that up? How does he back that up next year? I mean, can he do that again?
I don't know if he'll want to. I mean, I'm interested to see. He sold out for that triple-double thing. He wanted it. He always plays so hard, but you could see him doing the calculus in games. You could see him saying, I'm going to get to 10 assists before I do some other things, or you could see him say, I'm going to play off the ball a little bit to go grab a couple of rebounds here, steal a couple here and there. He wouldn't admit to that, and I understand why he's not going to admit to it, but that's okay. He did it. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it cheapens the accomplishment. But I'm interested to see if he wants to try again to do it. I don't know that he will. I think ideally for him, he'd like to have a little bit of help and not have to do quite as much. Right. But he was asked last night, how do you follow the season? And he said, he and this is sort of true. He's been asked that almost every year. What do you do to be better? He's always been so versatile. He's always kind of racked up a lot of numbers. And they've always had pretty good teams. And so every year for him, there is a challenge to be better. He's pretty driven to do that. I think what would be awesome for the Thunder and for Russell Westbrook is if he came back next year and said, I'm going to recommit to being the kind of defensive player I was when I was younger, because he's not that anymore. And so maybe he focuses there. He had one of his best three-point shooting years, but maybe he can still improve there and be more consistent. So, I don't know if he'll ever do the statistical things he did this year ever again. It's so hard to do. One guy ever has done it. And if you look at the numbers in terms of pace, in terms of minutes played, Westbrook's season is immeasurably more impressive than Oscar's, just because of the way the game is played now. And so it's nobody's done what he did, really. And so I don't know that he can do it again, but I wouldn't bet against him being better in some way or another, because he's been better in some way or another basically every year of his career.
Brett had a really good story today, the Oklahoman, about Russell Westbrook's MVP season. And last night, you can go to theoklahoman.com for that. Brett Dawson at B Dawson Writes on Twitter. You can follow him there as well. The NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs, obviously, I mean, the last three games of the Finals were great, but the NBA playoffs, pretty much everything we projected them to be. What do you think? I don't want to say maybe fallout, but what do you think the impact of how the playoffs happened affects the NBA moving forward, Brett?
Well, to some degree, it affected the salary cap for this year. It's not the only factor that, the salary cap is about $2 million less than it was projected to be. Part of the reason for that is that there were fewer playoff games than you would project there to be, and particularly there were fewer in the late rounds, the conference finals and the finals. So that did have an impact on the NBA's bottom line. But I think, the ratings were great. This is the nature of dynasties. Fans will tune in to watch teams that they know. And so that's not surprising that even though Golden State was kind of steamrolling everybody, that people tuned in to watch. And they will do that again next year when these two teams play again, barring, something unforeseen, maybe Boston makes some kind of move. But Golden State will be there again, and people will watch again. But I do think there's a long-term effect for the NBA that I think you can't get into a situation where you have 29 teams whose fans wonder what the point is. It's not going to affect your TV bottom line a lot. Those deals are set through like 24, 25. That money's coming in. It can be impacted a little bit like this in terms of the games played and all that. But I don't think you want the NBA is not a great parity league. It never has been. That's not really the point of the league. But you can't have it be so anticlimactic the way it looks like we're headed right now with Golden State, where there's going to be a period of time here where I don't know that if Golden State's healthy, anybody else in the league is going to feel very good about its chances to win, and that's not good for a league's health.
So who's your most intriguing team of the offseason?
Well, I love what Minnesota's done. I think Jimmy Butler is such an interesting acquisition for them. I think that's such an interesting addition to what they have, because it seemed like that was what they needed last year. I think a lot of people sort of jumped the gun on Minnesota and thought that they were going to be pretty good before they were ready to be pretty good. And I think one of the things they lacked was a guy like that, or just a more experienced guy like Butler, because they have such a young roster. So I'm really interested in what they've done. Obviously, the reports about Boston today, Woj reporting that Boston's trying to align a way that it gets both Gordon Hayward and Paul George. That would be pretty interesting, given all that they have and the fact that they wouldn't have to give anything up to get Hayward. They'd have to trade some assets to get George, obviously. But if they can make that happen with minimal losses to their actual roster, that gets pretty intriguing. That becomes a team that maybe LeBron James has to sweat a little bit. Maybe that pushes Cleveland's hand to do something, although I don't know what the move out there is if Boston makes both of those moves.
Brett Dawson, our guest, the Oklahoman, he covered the NBA awards last night. We're talking about the NBA. So no doubt in your mind that things will stay strong. You mentioned the ratings being up. If we go into next season and Boston's not able to do what they're wanting to do, or Minnesota, of course, adds Jimmy Butler, do you think ratings stay up for another season like that?
I think the playoff ratings will be good regardless, as long as Golden State is good, because there's just a body of math over the course of time that says this is what people want. People want dynasties. They want teams that they know. Now, they do want to see those teams challenged, and you're going to have to see some of that over the long haul. But in the short term, I don't think that's that bad. I think where it becomes a long-term thing is if nobody sort of rises up to be a challenger, then you have a bit of a problem. But just Golden State being better than everybody else isn't going to be an issue. It's going to become an issue over time if we start to see, that other teams just don't feel like they can compete, and their fans don't feel like they can compete. But I'll say this: that there's a study I just saw today that basically kind of looked at the value that leagues generate through social media, just what they do in terms of generating money for brands and what their brands are worth online. And the NBA does the most value for brands. It does, $444 million in annual value generated through social media for brands, and that dwarfs the NFL, which is in second place. So the NBA is in a good place financially. It's a growing game globally. I think there are some competitive issues that it's going to have to deal with Golden State, but it is in a really, really good position.
Brett, since you've left Illinois, they've had one NBA draft pick.
Oh, my.
And that's Myers Leonard, who the Blazers might be looking to salary dump. They can give my Bulls probably a call about that. But Malcolm Hill was not drafted. He's a borderline NBA prospect, but for a lot of fans interested, he's going to be Summer League with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. What kind of opportunity is there for a guy like Malcolm Hill?
Probably very little chance to make the roster here. There's some flexibility now. The new two-way contracts are going to be interesting in terms of, there's a new contract system, a new format that instead of 15 players, NBA teams are going to be allowed to have 17. Still the same number of active guys, 13 active guys, but you'd have 17 actual roster spots, and 2 of those would be two-way contracts. So those guys basically, they would make like an NBA minimum salary while they're in the NBA. But then they could be moved down to the D League, and they would make a D League salary. It's the G League now. I'm going to keep calling it the D League for at least half a year. I'll get used to G League eventually, maybe. But that's going to give you some flexibility. It's going to give some more guys opportunities. Now, I don't think Malcolm Hill is the kind of guy who's going to be even on a two-way thing, but he's probably a guy who is going to have a chance to make a G League roster. If you look at the Thunder, they've got a couple of candidates for those two-way deals, and they may need to replenish the Blue, which is their local. Their G League affiliate is in town. It's in Oklahoma City. So they're going to be looking for some roster spots there. I think I talked to Malcolm last week. I think one of the things he's interested in is he got up to about 230 pounds, as you guys know, to play a variety of positions in college and defend a variety of guys. I don't think that's where he's most comfortable.
Right.
He wants some feedback from NBA teams about what he is, what's his future, if he's going to make the league, what kind of player is he going to be. I think his defensive versatility is great, but maybe he might want to slim down and be a little bit more of a wing player and kind of versatile wing defender. So I think for him, he's going in with 2 sort of aspirations here. One is to show everybody in the league something. You're showing when you sign a summer league deal, and especially when you don't have a guaranteed training camp invite, which he does not here in Oklahoma City, he told me, you're trying to showcase your skills for everybody. You want to show all 30 teams what you can do in summer league. And then you just want to get the feedback of what is considered to be really one of the strongest developmental organizations in the league. So he'll have the ability for, not just the coaches who coach the actual summer league, but Billy Donovan. It's a very hand-in-hand operation here. So he's going to get feedback from all over the organization.
Nice.
Because of summer league. And I think there's some value for him in that.
Brett, how was that bro hug between Westbrook and Durant last night? Really pretty solid?
Katie was not in attendance last night. His mom was there,
yes.
But he was not. He did not make it, but Wanda showed up. She was on the red carpet saying hello. But big news here because Kevin Durant did offer online congratulations. He had a YouTube community page, and he posted a little note and congratulated Westbrook and said that he balled out and used a word I can't say on the air. But he was very complimentary.
Were people happy for him? Were they rooting for him in the finals in Oklahoma?
Oh, good call.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, there are some. I mean, there are a few here and there who, he was obviously he was a fixture here for so long, and he did so many things. There's a community here, Moore, Oklahoma, which is just about 10 or 15 minutes away. It's actually where I lived in a hotel for the first 2 weeks when I moved here before I got my apartment in the city. It was just devastated by a tornado a few years ago while Durant was here. He donated $1 million to the recovery there. He's donated so much money to schools and causes. There are some people who really value what he meant to the place, and they can sort of get past the team stuff. But for the most part, no, people wanted them to lose, wanted him to not play well in the finals. There are very hard feelings that I don't think will go away anytime soon. But you have some, including, interestingly enough, Terrence Ferguson, the player they drafted in the first round. His mom is from Tulsa, and she remains a huge Kevin Durant fan. So that's an interesting dynamic.
Brett Dawson, I got one more for you. Now that you've covered the NBA for a year, are you ready for round two? You feel like you learned a lot? You're not a rookie anymore, man. So these travel trips and everything, you ready to roll again?
I've been, there's still places in the league I haven't been. So I hope that next year, because I split my travel with another guy who's on the beat. So maybe get to rotate out and go to some places I haven't been yet, come get to some arenas. But yeah, it's, what I'm looking forward to is because I didn't have, in New Orleans last year, I didn't have the same kind of full-time situation. I didn't travel as much. And then I moved over here to cover Oklahoma City. So I'm looking forward to a second year of covering the same team. There's so much value in just getting to know people and know faces, and not just players, but staff and support staff and front office people. Just getting to know all those people again. And see the same faces for a second year. So I'm excited about all that stuff. There's definitely value in that you get past that rookie hump.
Always fun to talk to you, buddy. Brett Dawson, the Oklahoman. You can follow him on Twitter at @BDawsonWrites. Brett, great to catch up, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
See you, Brett.
Good stuff. I forgot about his little trip with New Orleans there
that's
as
how
well.
He started.
So, that's how he got in.
Left a good job covering Kentucky and said, hey, I'm not going to be young forever, not going to get many chances to go
good for him.
An NBA job, and he took a stringer job, which doesn't pay much.
No, it doesn't.
And wasn't full-time and didn't have benefits and all that, and a year later he's covering Oklahoma City full-time. So I was really happy. I told him then when he made the decision to go for it with New Orleans, I said, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Because too many people are just, do the same job,
no doubt,
and aren't that happy with it. You got one life.
Yeah,
go for the gig you want.
And I think that's cool that he covered such a memorable season that all of us will look back on. We'll be talking about that season with Russell Westbrook for years. Yeah. And for him to be there front and center for most of it, that's pretty neat.
Just a reminder, we got Tay's Take at 5:45, brought to you by DP Dough. You can ask Lante any random question. We got some good ones on Twitter. You can tweet me at @JWarnerScout. Or you can text us at 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. I have a list.
Oh, crime.
And I'm going to throw a possible Cubs trade target out at both you and Austin Berkman.
Okay, this is interesting. We'll do all that next. 359-2255. Tay and J Show.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at GTPS.com. GTPSinsurance.com.
The deals keep going in June at Ford of Hoopston and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Hoopston. At Ford, save up to $11,000 on the popular Ford F-150 and up to $6,000 off Ford Explorer. At Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get a Jeep Cherokee up to $6,000 off, or Jeep Renegade has $5,000 in savings. Chrysler Pacificas have up to $2,750 in savings, and Ram trucks as much as $6,250 in incentives. Near the intersection of Routes 1 and 9 in Hoopston, or online at HoopstonChrysler.com or FordofHoopston.com.
Hanson's Auto Repair in Urbana is a family-owned and operated full-service garage. For over 40 years, they've offered friendly atmosphere, quality work, and reasonable prices. Whether it's an oil change, brake service, or engine replacement, Hanson's Auto does it all. They're a locally owned dealer who cares, providing fast, comprehensive, and expert service. Family-owned, operated, and trusted since 1966. Hanson's Auto Repair, 1202 East Washington in Urbana. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Visit them online at hansonsautorepair.com.
Unified Community Credit Union for campus and community.
When you think about summer, what comes to mind? Sunshine, picnics, ice cream, and double points. That's right, double points all summer long with the Illini Visa Rewards Card and the U of I Community Credit Union. Now through the end of summer, use your Illini Visa Rewards Card on purchases for gas, groceries, and restaurants and score double points. Plus, you can score an extra bonus 1,000 points with your Illini Visa for 20 or more transactions each month. Use those points to purchase once-in-a-lifetime trips and experiences. Not a member yet? Visit IlliniCard.org today.
Hey, Sue, check out these sandals.
I don't wear sandals.
They're so cute.
Dry, cracked feet? Carousel Intensive Foot Repair doesn't just cover. Carousel removes hard, dry skin, then deeply moisturizes and actually repairs. Feet look good so fast you see a visible difference in just one day.
Sue, you look great in these sandals. Get them. Yeah.
Carousel Intensive Foot Repair in the foot care aisle. See the one-day difference.
The Home Depot has a new idea. Free carpet installation that means free carpet installation. Clearing out furniture? Free. Ripping out old carpet? No charge. Hauling it away? On the house. No hidden fees. Just free installation on carpet $699 or more. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Unique specialty items and requirements may be priced separately. Not valid in all markets. See HomeDepot.com for details. Offer ends August 16th.
If you're looking for something to do to celebrate the 4th, the Champaign County Freedom Celebration has exciting events planned just for you. The parade steps off at 11:05 a.m. and you don't want to miss the shaded tents for our seniors, the high school bands, cold air balloons, or Wells Fargo's horses and stagecoach, just to name a few included in our parade lineup this year. All happening at the University of Illinois. For more information, visit july4th.net or call 217-531-3777.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 430 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it even costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 217-367-1105 today. Illinois has landed another commitment out of Florida. They signed three-star defensive back Ron Hartz III from Cardinal Gibbons High School. He is from the same school of other 2018 commit Carlos Sandy. Hardage had offers from Indiana, Kansas, NC State, and Rutgers. This is Illinois' 7th commitment of the class. The Cubs had a wild ride last night versus the Nationals. Wilson Contreras hit a leadoff homer, but the Cubs gave up 4 runs after taking a 5-0 lead in the 9th inning. They ended up closing it down behind Wade Davis in the same 9th inning. The Cubs will take on the psychopath pitcher himself, Max Scherzer, tonight from D.C. Game time is 7:15. Listen on US 105.9. Randall Grichuk is on a 2-game homer streak. They played the Reds to an 8-2 win as part of a rainout earlier this year. The Cardinals travel to the West Coast to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks at 8:40 Central Time tonight. You can listen to that on ESPN. CU. Wainwright only allowed one earned run in his previous start Friday. The Cardinals will have to watch out for Paul Goldschmidt, though. He has 2 homers in 11 at-bats against Waino. The Yankees defeated the White Sox 6-5, but the White Sox can take solace that Aaron Judge did not hit a home run. Jose Quintana takes the mound tonight against these same Yankees. He had a 2.25 ERA in 4 starts in June. That trade value is going up. The Blackhawks will re-sign Billy Polka and let Daniel Rasmussen walk. And Adrian Wojnarowski of Yahoo Sports is reporting that the Celtics will go after Gordon Hayward and Paul George this offseason. If Boston can't lure Hayward, they will go after Blake Griffin. And that, my friends, is the update.
Yeah, we'll take him, and we'll take him, and you, and...
Well, you can offer 18 first-round draft picks to everybody. I mean...
See what else? Hey, it's out there. Who wants it? Hey, did you know 2/3 of retirees wish they'd done things differently when planning for retirement? Well, Busey Wealth Management shares 7 tried and true tips from retirees. How about realize your dream? A clear vision for your golden years, the greatest motivator to prepare well. Get educated. You can do that by talking to an advisor with Busey Wealth Management today. Make a plan. You can contribute today. Keep contributing. Don't touch retirement savings. Monitor your progress and turn your dreams into reality. Remember, retirement is a marathon, not a sprint. The experienced professionals at Busey Wealth Management are ready to create your personalized plan or check in on your current retirement goals. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or you can visit Busey.com today. Member FDIC.
We'll do Tay's Take at 5:45. Your random questions for Juan Tay. He'll answer any random question. Just text us at 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. We'll talk some Cubs just out of Sharma.
Nice.
The Athletic. The Cubs have a tall task tonight as they go against Max Scherzer, one of the top 2 pitchers in baseball. Jake Arrieta on the bump for the Cubs. Scherzer enters tonight with at least 10 strikeouts in 6 straight games.
Wow.
That's tied for the longest streak in franchise history, which is Nationals and Expos, with Pedro Martinez.
Okay.
In 1997.
So how many games in a row?
10 straight. 6 straight with 10 strikeouts.
I mean, he is certainly a, you swing and miss with Scherzer.
Scherzer is 32 years old.
Okay.
Earlier this month became another pitcher to hit 2,000 strikeouts.
Wow.
So I have a list.
Here we go. And my brain is not ready for a list.
Come on.
All right.
He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. 'Cause we love to go through lists just to mess with the lawn.
Oh, boy.
There are 10 active pitchers in Major League Baseball with 2,000 career strikeouts. I will give you 2 phone-a-friends to Austin Berkland.
I have to name 10 guys?
Well, Scherzer's one of them.
Okay.
So you got to name 9 guys.
9 guys with 2,000 strikeouts.
Think of guys who've been in the league a long time.
Just hold on. For giggles, how many does Kershaw have?
He's in the top 10.
Okay, I did not know he
did it earlier this month, too. 2,041 strikeouts. He's the only guy in his 20s.
Wow.
In the top 10.
That is amazing that he's
number
in there.
8 of active starting pitchers.
I will say CC Sabathia.
Number 1 on the list. Well done. 2,788 strikeouts. He's 383 ahead of number 2 on the list.
Wow.
Who is not a big strikeout pitcher.
Number 2's not a big strikeout pitcher.
Hasn't been for a while. And he's been in the league a long time.
Okay, now you're limiting. No, I can't just think like that. I got to keep thinking of these other 8.
Okay, you can go for that then.
Is Adam Wainwright on that list?
Adam Wainwright is number 20.
Okay.
He is 1553.
I wasn't sure
Too
how
much
many
time
he had.
away. Yeah.
Okay. Would Johnny Cueto be on that list?
Johnny Cueto not on the list, 23.
Okay.
I mean, he's still pretty young at 31.
Yeah, that's true.
And he doesn't strike out as many guys as some of the other top pitchers in the league.
Man, why can't I think of some of these? How about Felix Hernandez?
Number 3 on the list, 2,292 at just 31 years old.
Okay.
He's the only guy in the top 7 who is not 33 or older.
Juan Lester.
John Lester just outside. He's about to hit 2,000. He's at 1958. Good guess, though.
As I look through here and think through my teams, how about the kid from Cleveland, Kluber?
No, Kluber's
he's too young,
isn't
isn't he? He's too young. Corey Kluber's too young.
He had a later start in his career, too. I mean, he's only been playing 7 seasons. He's 31, has 1,029 strikeouts.
Okay.
One of the best pitchers in the league, though, obviously. So.
Yeah, well, without a doubt.
So
Justin Verlander.
That's a good guess. 2,283. He's number 4 on the list. So you got CC 1, Felix 3, Verlander 4, Kershaw 8, Scherzer 9. One guy has played for both teams that we talk about a lot.
So he's played for the Cubbies. Oh, John Lackey.
That's correct. Number 5, John Lackey, 2,226.
I'm going through my mind here. NL West, Giant no, Padres no, Dodgers no.
This guy is a former World Series MVP. Also was the NLCS MVP at just age 24.
David Eckstein.
No.
Oh, you need a picture.
In 2008.
In 2008, he was NLCS MVP, and he's been
part of a stacked rotation at the turn of the decade.
Oh.
A team that won 5 straight NL East titles.
Oh, wow. Oh, Bartolo?
Well, he's on the list.
Oh, okay, but it's not him.
He's number 2 at 2,405. That's a guy that doesn't strike out a lot of people.
No, I was thinking of that Mets rotation there, but that's not what we're talking about.
So
we're talking Atlanta here.
You got CC, Bartolo, Felix, Justin Verlander, John Lackey. You got your top 5 out of the way. And you got Kershaw at 8 and Scherzer at 9.
So it's somebody from Atlanta?
No.
Oh, NL East stacked?
I mean, you guys beat him one year to win the World Series.
Philadelphia.
Yeah?
Cliff Lee.
No.
How come I always get it wrong with that guy?
It's not Roy Halladay and it's not Cliff Lee. Who else was in that rotation?
Austin, are you ready? He's in there doing his. He's got like
come on, Ron.
He's like the madman. I can't ever think of this guy.
Do you want me to give it to you?
Yes.
Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels. I swear, I think Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels are the same guy.
That's right.
I think they're both just tall, skinny, left-handed guys that throw.
Number 7 on this list is making over $30 million, and you're playing his team. Your team is playing his team this week.
This week we're playing them. Zach Greinke?
Zach Greinke, number
really?
7. I mean, he's been in the league 14 years.
Has he really?
He's 33 years old, but he's been in the league 14 years. 2,137. Number 10.
Okay.
I witnessed this live this weekend.
I get one more phone a friend. Is anybody? Everybody's looking at me with.
Which game did I go to this week?
You went to the White Sox?
That's correct.
Against. Oh, he's playing for the White Sox. Let's go with.
Who on the White Sox could have 2,000 career strikeouts?
Is it James Shields?
Yes,
is
that is correct. Really? James Shields. I saw his 2,000 strikeout after he'd given up 4 bombs.
What did you do? Did you did everybody give him a silent?
They put it
golf?
on the screen and everyone's just like, really? Just got rocked again.
That's pretty stinking impressive.
Yeah.
To be around like that?
12 years in the league, 35 years old. So, CC Sabathia, Bartolo Colon, Felix Hernandez, Justin Verlander, John Lackey, Cole Hamels, Zach Greinke, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, and James Shields.
For giggles, can you go to the all-time strikeout leaders?
Okay.
And I do not want to try to guess this. And I know Nolan's not even close, right?
Right.
And then what would be the top?
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson's up there. What would be the top 10? Roger Clemens. Trying to think who else was just a fireballer.
Some of them aren't. Maddox, number 10.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of these guys are just guys who stay around for 20-something years.
True.
Walter Johnson, 9. Gaylord Perry, 8.
Wow.
Don Sutton, 7. Tom Seaver, 6. Burt Bly, 11. Stat accumulator. Number 5. Steve
Detroit.
Carlton at 4. Clemens, 3. Johnson, 2. Nolan Ryan, 1.
Okay. Denny McClain, not in the top 10.
Will anybody ever touch Nolan Ryan's record?
What does he have, 7,000?
That feels more unbreakable than Joe DiMaggio's record.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
Pitcher health in years. I mean, is anyone ever going to pitch 27 years in the league again?
No, that won't happen. Nolan Ryan has how many strikeouts?
5,714. Number 2 is 4,875.
Wow.
I mean, when you talk about unbreakable records in baseball, that's one of the top.
That is amazing to me. Nolan Ryan, he threw a lot of years. J.R. Richard, is anywhere near that. He didn't pitch enough years in Houston with Nolan Ryan when they were together.
All right, so on that active list,
okay,
I have a trade candidate for the Cubs.
Oh, yes.
When we come back.
Oh.
I'll ask you and Austin.
Why you keep teasing Cubs fans?
Let's see if you can figure out which one you said that I think the Cubs maybe should think about trading.
Okay. 359-2255. If you'd like to weigh in, it is the Tay and J Show.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
When you hit the brakes in time, but the guy behind you doesn't, get it to Gerber. When your teenager puts the dent in Stu Dent Driver, yep, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass. Call 877-7-GERBER. Gerber comes highly recommended.
From soccer practice to home improvement projects, your days are busy. Busey understands. That's why we offer innovative solutions to keep your financial life in order. With Busey's mobile app, deposit checks, transfer funds, and pay bills, whether you're in the boardroom or at the ballpark. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Beacon Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at beaconinsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Beacon Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Beacon Insurance on Facebook today.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans, and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now listen to this crowd. Wow, they're on their feet.
This 4th of July, the Cardinals have you covered head to toe in true patriotic fashion. On Sunday, July 2nd, fans can take home an adult patriotic cowboy hat, courtesy of Brown & Crouppen Law Firm. Monday, July 3rd, enjoy Cooper Tire's post-game fireworks. And Tuesday, July 4th, adults and kids can add patriotic Cardinals socks to their wardrobe, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Powerade. That's July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Carpenters Local 243 in Champaign, Illinois wants to thank the contractors, developers, and business owners who utilize the skills and services of union carpenters on their projects. Carpenters Local 243 members are part of the world's highest skilled, most productive workforce. Members and contractors are committed to apprenticeship training and an ongoing journeyman skill advancement program. This provides the labor resources to ensure projects are completed. For a list of responsible contractors, call Carpenters Local 243 at 356-5463.
Home is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. From First Financial Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring surfaces where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hey, next hour you want to be listening, it's your chance for the DP Dough Office Hookup. If you haven't heard about this, we've been doing it the start of this month. DP Dough hooking up your office with a catered lunch of calzone, salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people. When we ask, it's easy. Text us at 359-2255 with the name of your office, how many people you work with, and we'll ask your question, and you just answer it in a fun way, and you'll be entered to win a catered lunch for your entire office of up to 25 people from DP Dough, calzone, salad, and fresh baked cookies. We'll select one winner each week through August 7th. So if you don't win today, keep texting every Monday, and DP Dough could hook up your office with a catered lunch.
Everything's not perfect always. We didn't have a show yesterday. Cardinals, of course, played and got it done. We don't have a show Thursday either this week. Kind of a goofy week. And then we reminded everyone, but just as a reminder, next week we are going to take Monday and Tuesday off, the 3rd and 4th of July. So we've got a little bit of a hiatus coming up here we should be well rested come July 5th.
That's right. Speaking of DP Dough, we're going to do Tay's Take at 5:45.
Okay.
Any random question you have for Lon? We haven't done this in a while because June was a weird month where we didn't have a lot of Tuesdays where we were on in the 5 o'clock hour.
Right.
So we usually end Tuesdays in the 5 o'clock hour, Tay's Take. You can text Lon any random question to 217-359-2255. We'll also talk Cubs with Saad of Sharma of theathletic.com next hour.
I usually ask no political questions. Today, no Tesla questions because that's a little hazy. The whole Tesla thing was a little
Sunday
hazy.
night was a little hazy.
Sunday, yes. And then I remember some Poison, and then here comes Leopard rocking it out. So, dude, would you have enjoyed that concert?
I'm sure I'd find a way to enjoy that. It's just a fun time,
I could not believe how crowded it was. It was packed.
How much money those guys were rolling?
I don't know. I think I paid, $28 maybe for that ticket? That's not bad.
Were you nosebleed?
Yeah, well, we were on the lawn,
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
just a big yard area.
They'd probably make six figures.
Probably.
The band itself probably
I would
makes 6
assume.
figures in that show.
I was sitting, on that lawn. You're constantly holding yourself up essentially because it kind of angles down. My legs are killing me.
Get a good calf workout.
I think it's more of the thigh area, which I need. So yeah, it was good. Good stuff.
All right, so we just did the top 10 list of active leaders and strikeouts because I witnessed James Shields and his phenomenal 2000 strikeout. Scherzer, who's on the bump tonight, just did it.
Okay.
And Clayton Kershaw just did it this year as well. One guy on that list I think could be an interesting trade candidate for the Cubs.
Okay, that's interesting.
Who do you think it was?
Justin Verlander.
That is correct.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin Verlander. The Tigers are they're in it, but they're not good enough to win this entire thing. They're looking to probably rebuild here.
Okay.
Justin Verlander is making $28 million this year. He makes $28 million in 2018 when he's 35 years old and $28 million in 2019. In 2020, he has a $22 million vesting option that he's guaranteed if he finishes top 5 in the 2019 Cy Young voting.
Okay. Which is not going to happen.
Is that a contract you'd be willing to take on if you're the Cubs, if the Tigers eat what portion of it?
Let me ask one question before we get to nitty-gritty. If he doesn't finish top 5, do we know how much he would make that
I think
last
he's
year?
just a free agent.
He's just a free agent.
He just becomes a free agent.
In other words, they'd have to pick up the option.
This could be a 2.5 year, 56 plus whatever's $70 million deal.
At
3 years, $70
million.
Yeah. About 3 years, $70 million for Justin Verlander, who finished second in the Cy Young last year. Not as good this year. He's got his ERA right now is 4.52.
Okay.
But obviously he's been a good pitcher for a long time in his career.
I'm going to answer, and then I'll let Austin answer as our Cubs representative. If I'm the Chicago Cubs and I had a chance to get Justin Verlander, of course, a lot of that depends on who else is out there.
Because this is a long-term solution.
Yes, which I think is what Theo wants.
Next couple of years, but it's an older guy.
Yes,
it's not a younger guy like we're talking about. But in that, you probably don't have to give up barely anything.
That's exactly right. You're basically helping the Tigers.
This is more of a salary dump where you're giving up maybe, 2 of your top 20 prospects at the most?
Yes.
And the Tigers are just looking to free up some money, maybe eat a little bit of it. Maybe you give up one of your top prospects if they eat up a lot of it.
I would say I think if Detroit comes back and says, all right, give us a couple of prospects, then in that, I don't think they're going to want to pay any of that.
Because you're not going to, I would not give up like an Eloy.
No.
I don't even know if I give up Candelario.
No, not for,
I'm talking lower prospect.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Austin. What do you think? I think if I'm the Cubs and I could get Justin Verlander in that rotation right now, I mean, your rotation.
A guy with a 3.39 playoff ERA, and he's started 16 games in the playoff.
And I mean, when was he unhealthy? A couple of years ago was when he had some injury.
Yeah, that was the first time in his career.
But otherwise, a guy that's...
He's pitched 200-plus innings in every year but one since 2007.
Wow. Fastball guy. Austin, I'm doing it if I'm Theo.
I am doing it as well because you can just get those two prospects off of the market, and then his average pitch speed is 95.01. That's 2 miles per hour above the league average right now. So it's not like his velocity is dipped that bad.
Not at all.
And so if you do that and then you sign Yu Darvish next year, then you'd have a rotation of Lester, Verlander, Darvish, and then Montgomery and Hendricks.
That's interesting.
So that's a great top 5 rotation, better than what you have this year, and it helps lengthen Theo's quest to find that young pitcher and still gain some assets instead of just giving away Eloy Jimenez this year.
Right. I don't know if I'm not giving up Eloy for Sonny Gray.
No.
I know Sonny's young, but he's not great, right? I mean, there's no greatness there. He's cheap,
right?
For the next couple of years. Verlander's a little bit more expensive, but if they eat some of that contract, I mean, that's basically your Lackey replacement.
Well, yeah, I was going to say.
Right? Only a little bit better than what he was. I mean, I'm not expecting Verlander to be an ace or finish second in the Cy Young. He's got that upside. He's just walked a lot of people this year. I mean, if he cuts down on that, this is one of the top 30 pitchers, 25 pitchers in the league, and most likely top 20 pitcher. I'd have interest in there.
I totally agree with that, and it got me thinking, and I'll ask this to Austin and you both. What happens when you don't have an ace? Do you need an ace? I mean, is John Lester, is he good enough to stay ace quality the next 2 years?
Lester's an ace.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Even the next, 2 years from now?
I mean, I think Lester is a better version of, Quintana, right? I mean, he might not be. There's only so many Kershaw, Scherzer, Sale. I mean, Kershaw, Scherzer, Sale. You're going to have a couple guys like Syndergaard come up.
Right. But other than that,
I mean, Lester's going to be an ace on most teams.
I think Verlander would be awesome. I mean, this is a guy that has been there before. Of course, as a rookie, he was pitching in the World Series. Now, he hasn't had a lot of World Series appearances since, but it's one of those situations where at least he's a vet. He's been there and he's been in the playoffs. And I think that's key if you're the Cubs. And man, all you're needing to do is you have to get somebody.
He pitched in the World Series in 06 and 12.
I mean, how does that help? Okay, so this year he automatically is your number 2 guy, I assume. So you go Lester, Verlander, probably Arrieta.
2 or 3, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know about number, but
I like this. I think I would do it.
For me, it depends on the price and depends on the prospects they're looking for, but Detroit's probably wanting to unload some of that contract.
That's true. How about for J.D. Martinez? Now, they're not going to be as...
No, J.D. Martinez, they can ask for a top prospect, even as a rental, because there are a few bats that'll be on the market as good as J.D. Martinez.
Correct. That's the amazing thing is that he's going to make some cash. Big time cash this coming year. So, interesting.
Austin, of the guys they mention, Archer's mentioned all the time, but Tampa's probably going to ask for Eloy and Candelario, so many top guys that you have in your system. Sonny Gray, I'm not giving up Eloy for. I mean, who interests you out there in the trade market?
There really is nobody out there right now because with the way the AL is shaping up, everybody's competing right now for that wild card spot. I know it's going to widen up by the time the trade deadline hits, but right now there's just nobody that for sure that I know that I could get in that trade market. And Verlander might possibly be that best option as a short-term guy to help you win that division and just make it to the playoffs, which seems to be the goal this year. And I don't think a World Series is out of the question, but it's definitely gotten a lot harder with Zobrist's injury, Hayward's injury, Russell's struggling at the plate, Kyle Schwarber can't find it. I mean, unless there's a package deal between like a Danny Duffy and a Lorenzo Cain,
right?
Then that's the only option that I can consider.
And Kansas City's competing right now.
Yeah,
they're 500,
that's
so that takes another big seller off the market that has a bunch of more position players than anything. But San Francisco is an interesting one because are they even going to deal Samardzija and Cueto because they're looking to contend next year, right?
I mean,
so
they
might
know
want
how to do this.
So unless they know Cueto's opting out already, then I think they'll try and keep Cueto.
Lance Lynn, I don't think the Cardinals would do it.
No.
Would you be interested in Lance Lynn?
I mean, if that Justin Verlander thing does not happen, I want to sign Yu Darvish and Lance Lynn next year in the offseason. That way, so that would solidify the Cubs rotation and it would take Lance Lynn out of the Cardinals organization and into the Cubs.
Be interesting.
The guy that makes the most sense for the Cubs is not going to happen. It's Jose Quintana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Eloy and a couple of those guys for Quintana makes all. I mean, if you did Eloy and Javi Baez, they probably won't want to take away from the Major League roster now, but
I doubt it.
If you did Eloy and a couple of those guys, I think
Eloy, Candelario, and Dylan Cease. I mean, would
start.
that be enough?
That's a start. I mean, Hap coming up and then him being an indispensable part obviously changed the conversation.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but he makes so much sense.
It's almost like the Benintendi situation where the Red Sox were thinking of dealing a Benintendi, but then he became part of the Major League roster and became a fabric of that lineup in Boston. And then
once
the
you
same
see
thing is
it
happening
work,
with Hap. Yeah, it's hard to get those strings cut off.
That's exactly right. Once you see it working, it's one of those where you don't know if you really want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, thank you, buddy. Good stuff. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Cubbies, and it'll be interesting to see even with the Cardinals as well, the way they're playing. I don't know. I guess they win again tonight.
They're kind of in the middle of no man's land right now. Like, do you trade? Do you sell?
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea on that one. Let me hit that again. That's my bad. I don't know what happened there.
I swear that never happens to me before. We'll talk more about the Cubs out of Charmin the Athletic. Tay's Take at 5:45.
What in the world? Drive Time's next. Tay and J Show.
Hey, Cardinals fans, why not make the trip to St. Louis and come celebrate the 4th of July with us? Make the trip to St. Louis, enjoy baseball, and take home some giveaways as well. It all starts Friday, June 30th, when the Cardinals host the Nationals. It's the 1967 World Series Championship Beer Stein, presented by Budweiser. Then on Saturday, July 1st, it's the wearable replica 1942 World Series Championship Ring, presented by Edward Jones. On Sunday, July 2nd, it's a unique giveaway. The adult patriotic cowboy hat. You'll be the hit of any 4th of July celebration with your new cowboy hat. Monday, July 3rd, the Cardinals welcome the Marlins to town. Stay in your seat after the game. It's a Cooper Tires fireworks night. Then on the 4th of July, fans will take home their own set of patriotic Cardinals socks, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Make the trip to St. Louis, June 30th, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph. Game Day Spirit, located at 1422 South Neal Street, will be moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. Shop closeout sales and save up to 40% off before they move. Everything will be marked down at least 20% off, including name brands such as Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. These deals will be available at the South Neal Street location only from June 30th to July 9th. Shop early for the best selection. T-shirts as low as $6, 30% off headwear, and 40% off all local high school apparel. Follow Game Day Spirit on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to stay in the know of all things game day and all things Fighting Illini.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fox News, a late day push by the White House after a major stall today on the GOP health care bill. Let's get more live from Washington with Fox's Jared Halpern.
The Senate Republican leaders had hoped for a vote on their health care plan this week. Instead, it won't happen until at least after the July 4th recess.
We're going to continue the discussions within our conference on the differences that we have, that we're continuing to try to litigate.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell led most Senate Republicans to a session with President Trump at the White House to begin that process, though opposition to the current proposal has grown to at least 9 GOP senators. Just 2 Republicans can oppose the measure for it to pass without Democratic support. Paul.
Jared, Syrian rebels warning about another possible chemical weapons attack by President Bashar Assad's government. The U.S. also alleging that Assad's forces are prepping for an additional chemical hit. The investigation continuing into a massive ransomware attack hitting computers today around the world. More on that live with Fox's Gunal Scott.
Paul, we may be closer to finding out where this apparent ransomware attack originated. Ukraine authorities have been tweeting that A bad update to some accounting software may be to blame for the spread of this virus. It caused computer system shutdowns in Europe and also hit a healthcare system and a pharmaceutical giant Merck in this country. Ransomware encrypts the system's data, essentially holding it hostage until someone pays to release it. Federal Homeland Security has been part of the investigation to find out where and how this computer bug originated. Paul.
And Gernal internet giant Google facing more possible penalties in Europe now. Regulations there and regulators saying Google is taking advantage of its market dominance in online searches by directing customers to its own business partners. Google already fined 2.4 billion euros earlier today. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Summer involves a lot of driving, to camp, to work, to soccer, back home to grab what they forgot, and then back to soccer again. So wouldn't you like to know your car is up for it? Enter Hum by Verizon. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics, drive with more peace of mind thanks to 24/7 emergency assistance, and let the kids stream and game on the go with your car's own Wi-Fi hotspot. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com. Verizon Wi-Fi available on Hum X only. Data usage applies. Coverage not available everywhere. Visit vzw.com for availability.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Growing fire in Utah with new blazes also popping up in the west.
It's dry, hot, and windy in southwestern Utah where the Brian Head fire has grown under red flag conditions.
We knew that the winds would be shifting to be coming from the southwest, so we did have fire growth. The acreage now is about 49,000 acres, and all of that growth is on the northern perimeter. It's a pretty remote area in the forest and the conifers.
Incident management spokeswoman Elaine Briggs says no more structures have burned. Earlier, 21 burned, 13 of them homes. 1,500 people are still under an evacuation order. A new fire in California east of L.A. was also driven by wind and heat. Officials say it is 5,000 acres at 20% containment. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Chicago's police superintendent Eddie Johnson saying his department is fully cooperating with prosecutors looking into the fatal shooting of black teen Laquan McDonald. A special prosecutor announcing the indictment of 3 officers in connection with that case. No comment, though, from Chicago's police union. Police, meantime, in Mississippi looking for whoever defaced a historical marker honoring slain civil rights icon Emmett Till.
An historic display in the tiny town of Money, Mississippi, bearing photos of Emmett Till was found scratched and marred last May, but just this week panels had been peeled off the back. The damaged sign still sits outside what was the grocery store where Carolyn Bryant accused Till, African American, of whistling at her back in August of 1955. Till would be killed by her husband and cohorts. The men would be acquitted, but later confessed, and Bryant later recanted her claim. The sign was put up in 2011 as a series of state-funded markers. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Saudi Arabia demolishing centuries-old homes in a Shiite town, leveling a historic district that officials say has become a hideout for militants there. That destruction in the town of Al Awamiya sparking shootouts between Saudi security forces and Shiite gunmen. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News Radio.
Where's Gus Johnson these days?
Learn how to give up, kids.
Yes.
Learn when to quit, all right? Take one thing from the show.
Sometimes you're not making yourself better. You're just continuing to practice mistakes.
That's right. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-Day Forecast. Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, low of 56 degrees.
Where's this coming from?
I don't mind it. Wednesday, high 86, a low of 72. Should be windy. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 89, a low of 72. Right now, sunny, beautiful, 78 degrees in Champaign-Urbana. It is Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com. Well, on today, there's a recap of the first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
Well, Jeremy Warner, we did talk a lot of sports, but we started out talking about our weekend. And this is our show. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start Drive Time out by talking about our weekend again.
We both took in baseball games.
Loved it. You were with the White Sox. I was with the Cardinals.
I saw James Shields' 2000th strikeout.
I saw Lance Lynn stink.
Yeah, he stunk the last two.
He really did. But we had fun. I took my nieces down, my boys. We just kind of went all over St. Louis, had a good time.
So I mentioned at the beginning of the show, which nobody knew what that would mean, was that it's better to who you know than what you know, right?
Yeah, tell us about your...
So we went tailgate to the White Sox game with me, my brother, my best friend Matt, and his brother Mike.
Nice.
And we tailgated, had fun. We got to our seats, and it was Mark Burley Day.
Yeah.
And they retired his number, which was awesome to see live.
That's cool to be there. Was that on purpose you went to Burley?
Well, my buddy wanted to go to that game.
Cool.
So we got a little pin thing. We got to see that pre-game thing, which was awesome because he's not a Hall of Famer,
right?
But this is what you retire numbers for as a team. Is he's a White Sox Hall of Famer?
He is.
And for me, Frank Thomas got me in, right? I mean, he was my baseball hero growing up. I had my batting stance just like Frank Thomas. That's the impression he left on me. I mean, he was one of the elite players,
no doubt,
and he played for my team. But Burley and Canerco, were those two guys that played on the teams I grew up watching the most. I mean, those were the two teams that they were with me longer than anybody, including Frank Thomas. And those guys were just fun, cool to root for. And Burley was my favorite.
Yep.
He wore the same number I did in football.
That's cool.
So it was really cool seeing that.
56, right?
But our boy, George, midway through the game, hooked me up with some pretty sweet seats.
How about that?
Yeah, pretty close. I don't want to mention where he sat me, but pretty close.
I saw a picture on Facebook.
And when you have a connection that hooks you and your boys up with seats,
man,
it just impresses your boys, even though you did nothing but know this guy. Which George listens to our show. And, he podcasts us on the way home from the White Sox game.
Nice of him to do that.
Yeah,
He's
it was awesome.
Care of us.
We really appreciated it. But it's obvious like no one showed up in those seats, and they filled it in with us.
Like, hey, you want them?
I was willing to fill in, and it was a really cool experience.
I'm glad you guys were able to do that, and you were able to enjoy that. Sunday, then, I took back over because I took a bus with 15 people, 14 others, that was loaded down with alcohol. And we went over to watch Tesla, Poison, and Def Leppard and just had a blast.
How would you rank the bands?
I don't remember Tesla.
So NA? There's an NA?
I'm sure they could have been great. But there was a lot of NA there doing a lot of chatting. And then Poison was decent. Def Leppard was great. They were great. They were better than what they were last year. And I've seen them 2 years in a row now. So they get better with time, man.
So are you going to do a carp thing that every time
I want to do
this? Yes. You got to go see the Def Leppard.
My band, unlike his, they're going to be dead soon probably. So I don't know if I can.
One guy from Dave Matthews' band, I think, died.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have maybe said that. No, but hey, as long as Leopard wants to play, I'm in, man. And I want to do that bus thing again. That was so fun.
Dude, party buses.
Yeah.
What is it about drinking on a bus?
I think it's because you shouldn't drink and drive, right? So we don't. And then
but when someone else drives, and you're on a bus, though, like you can't do it in a car with your buddies unless you're on the gravel roads. I know some people that
going. I mean, you got plenty of space. People are standing up.
It's the best.
I mean, it's probably like, the most
day drinking on a bus.
Day drinking on a bus. And I'm thinking to myself, if this thing swerves or goes off the road, we're done. But you know what? It didn't. And we're here. And that's the key. We actually talked sports today as well.
We did.
Illinois football.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Illinois football as they've been busy adding some talent, and there's one big talent possibly considering them again. But they announced the signing of Australian punter Blake Hayes over the weekend.
So we have an Australian punter and what's the kicker? He's Scottish. He's Irish.
Yeah, he's Irish. I mean, James McCord. His family came from Ireland.
This is going to be a fun story for you to do one day.
Yeah, I mean, Hayes, I think, has a clearer path to playing time because Chase McLaughlin has that kicker job right now, and Illinois is looking for another kicker as well. But this is the new thing in college football. ESPN College Game Day did a piece on it. Pro Kick Australia is this big punting program. 2 guys from Australia who kicked in the NFL went back to Australia because there's a lot of kicking talent because of Australian rules football and rugby. And, of course, soccer's bigger across the world, but those 2 sports where they got to have booming legs. And Blake Hayes played Australian rules football.
That's awesome.
But the last year and a half he spent at Pro Kick Australia, and they've developed him into a D1 prospect. They have dozens of Division I kids right now.
I bet.
A couple kids in the NFL. The recent Ray Guy Award winner, Mitch Trubisky, who's from Utah. Not Trubisky. Wisnowski.
Hold on.
Mitch Wisnowski from Utah. He won the Ray Guy Award,
Awesome.
and he's from this Pro Kick Australia. So Illinois taps into that, and it's a position of need.
Yeah,
absolutely. We don't talk about the special teams that much, but they need a big leg, and he's a big boy, 6'6", 220. But Illinois added yet another commit, a fifth commit in the class of 2018. 3-star cornerback Ron Harge III.
Nice.
He's teammates with 3-star wide receiver commit Carlos Sandy at the Fort Lauderdale School, Cardinal Gibbons. So another nice, long, athletic cornerback.
Illinois living down in Florida. By the way, Australian rules football. Why did ESPN have to go and get the NBA and all that? They used to just show that all the time, man. That was the best. We could have watched Blake Hayes play. Another kid that has Illinois on the radar, and he did some interesting things on Twitter lately, is Luke Ford. That's the tight end from Carterville. The kid that sounded like he wanted to come to Illinois. Then his parents said, well, you need to take your visit to Arkansas. He loved it, committed. Now he's decommitted, and he's back in the game. And I think Illinois' got a shot here, don't they?
Yeah, he messaged me unprovoked, said, hey, I'm thinking about Illinois a lot.
Wow.
So I talked with him, and I've talked to people around that recruitment as well, and they all say the interest is genuine.
Okay.
I mean, he almost committed on his visit here, but then Arkansas fell in love with the facilities, fell in love that they've had Mackey Award winners. But Illinois has an emotional pull, and I think we've talked about this. He's got a star personality.
Right.
I think he likes being the center of attention.
Got it.
And that's why the tweet yesterday went over so well, because Illinois fans gave him 1,500, 1,600 likes or whatever it was, all those retweets.
Very cool.
All that. So I think he likes the appeal of being a star attraction of a recruiting class, because he won't be that at Alabama.
No.
He might be at Arkansas. He won't be at some of these other schools like Texas. He's a big get for anybody, but he'd be the get for Illinois. The one thing they got to overcome is obviously they haven't won games.
No.
I think they got to show something on the field, some positive on the field, and that includes how they're going to use tight ends.
Fair enough.
They have no proof of how they're going to use tight ends, though Arkansas selling these Mackey Award winners.
Yes.
One of them, DJ Williams, got it while playing in Garrick McGee's offense.
Well, that's nice.
Under Bobby Petrino, right? When Garrick was the offensive coordinator there. So the tricky part is Illinois' tight ends are really young.
Right.
Probably not ready to have a big year in the Big Ten. Griffin Palmer, I think, can be a solid player down the road. Lewis Dorsey, the kid they recruited, tall, athletic, good. But Illinois could really use somebody like this to buy into their program. They don't have that Ricky Smalling in this class yet. But Luke's interest seems genuine, but there's going to be a long process. He's not going to commit early again after decommitting early this time. He's probably going to make an announcement on signing day. But Illinois, I think, is going to be in his top 5.
Okay.
And I think they're going to have an opportunity to win this.
It sounds like Illinois now 7 commits in this class. And for you, this shocked me a little bit. You said they're 2 ahead of what they were last year at this time.
Yep.
Which is shocking because
one big month does, and I mentioned it. They kind of have a similar makeup. Their quarterbacks didn't have Power 5 offers. They had some nice camp finds. Had some kids that Illinois should get, but they also have a couple out-of-state kids that they didn't have last year at this point. Mike Epstein was kind of a soft verbal at that time. The one thing they don't have is a Ricky Smalling.
Got it.
Right, and that's where Luke Ford or Vertus Brown will come in big for this team.
By the way, Mikey Dudek, I saw some pictures from Lift for Life. The dude joked.
He works out.
You think?
Yeah, he works out.
I mean, the dude is joking.
The one guy who might give him a run for his money, Julian Hilton.
Oh.
Jacked.
Is he really?
Jacked.
All right.
I mean, most of these guys are.
Well, I was going to say, they don't look like Lonte. We know that.
We also talked about the NBA awards with Brett Dawson, the Oklahoman, who covered Russell Westbrook's MVP year. Would you have voted Westbrook over Harden?
Yes, I would have.
Yeah.
I thought what he
Both
did was
deserved it.
amazing. And I asked Brett, can he do this again? Yeah. Can he turn that around and do something like that again? And Brett said even though Russell would never probably admit it, he thinks he went hunting a little bit for some triple-doubles last year in games. And you know what? He got it. And he made a memorable season for sure.
Well, and that's the thing Brett said is, we knew the postseason.
Yes.
People would watch because the Warriors and Cavs. But Russ made it a memorable season.
Yes, he
regular season. He and James Harden having the years they had, Houston having the year they had. Those are really intriguing storylines during the year.
Very cool.
That's Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy or visit them online at drivechampaign.com.
All right. We do it each week. DP Dough, we love them, and they give you a chance to win lunch for the office.
That's right. Now, throughout the summer, DP Dough hooking you up with a catered lunch of calzone, salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people. Right now, text us at 359-2255 with your name of the office, how many people you work with, along with your office and number of people. Let us know today your favorite New York Yankee.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday,
what a Carp.
Yesterday was Derek Jeter's 42nd birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How about we do least favorite New York Yankee?
Let's do that.
Because who likes the Yankees?
Exactly. Nobody does. Nobody does.
Father. So least favorite New York Yankee. Text to 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. You'll have the chance to be entered to win a great catered lunch, a calzone salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people.
You know what I like when we're doing this in the 5 o'clock hour? We're giving those offices to stay open till 6 a better chance now because a lot of people close at 5. 359-2255. Need to know your name, your business, least favorite Yankee. When we come back, speaking of least favorite, we're going to talk Chicago Cubs. Sahadev Sharma, the Athletic, will chat him next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
You know, I remember thinking, heck, I remember saying it out loud that the NBA MVP voting shouldn't happen before the playoffs start, that it should include these playoffs. Now, maybe I got a little carried away with the fact that the top two in the race were going to go head-to-head when Russell Westbrook and the Thunder opened the playoffs against James Harden and the Rockets. Then I watched the playoffs, and I wanted to take it all back. Think about it. If the votes came after the playoffs, here's your MVP order. 1, Kevin Durant. 2, LeBron James. 3, maybe Westbrook or Harden. Maybe Steph Curry. My point is this. If the voting was after the playoffs, the entire 6-month regular season would be washed away from the standpoint of individual greatness. Westbrook was named MVP last night, and he earned every bit of it. 42 triple-doubles, and he averaged one for the season. You know by now how long it's been since anybody accomplished those feats. Leaving it a regular season award is, after all, the right play. It just took me a while to realize that. In 60 seconds, you won't believe what happened where I am in Omaha last night.
It's time for some straight talk. You love your phone, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm watching highlights on it right now.
But I'm guessing you don't love your big old expensive wireless plan with all the mystery fees and data overages on your bill every month.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, what if I told you, Greenie, that you could keep the phone you love but pay a whole lot less every month?
How do I do that?
Just switch to Straight Talk Wireless. You can actually keep your exact same phone, your exact same number, even your exact same network, but for a whole lot less than you're paying now.
Boom, that's a home run.
Out of the park.
Bring your own phone to Straight Talk Wireless. Unlimited plans start at just $45 a month with nationwide coverage on America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. A month equals 30 days. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Game 1 of the College World Series Finals was last night here in Omaha. Florida beat LSU 4-3, so LSU's in must-win mode tonight if they want to force a Game 3. LSU starter will be senior Jared Poche. His dad's here, by the way. Thank goodness. Last night, he was the Poche that was needed the most. Get this, from the Baton Rouge Advocate, the mother of LSU's Cole Freeman called out to Jerry Poche last night when she saw an elderly man slumping over and losing consciousness in the stands. Now, Jerry Poche is a doctor. He says he got to the man and there was no pulse, no breathing. He, along with another man who performed mouth-to-mouth, revived the elderly gentleman, and at last check, he was in stable condition. Right place, right time for Dr. Poche. Keeping perspective in mind, of course, LSU's hoping the younger Poche, Jared, can deliver tonight where I am here in Omaha. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hey, it's Stephanie Pratt with Coldwell Banker, the real estate group, your realtor that rocks the real estate market. I so love to cook and smoke. Meats, that is. I want you to be a rock and cook too, so I'm going to hook one lucky winner up with a master-built smokehouse smoker. Just listen for Stevie J in the morning and Tay and J in the afternoon to tell you the text. When they do, text a keyword to 359-2255 and you'll be entered to win. And let me rock your summer parties in a new home. Go to StephaniePrattHomes.com to contact me today. And for information on the smoker giveaway, go to ESPNCU.com.
Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
It's our trip to Wrigley Field, Chicago. You can join us Wednesday, July 5th. The Cubs take on Tampa Bay at 1:20. You can see the world champion Chicago Cubs, and the rooftop tickets include all your food and beverage. Pay online at ESPNCU.com or stop by our studios Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 2702 South Boulder in Urbana. Again, join us July 5th, Cubs rooftop trip, ESPNCU.com for details.
The Home Depot has a new idea. Free carpet installation that means free carpet installation. Clearing out furniture? Free. Ripping out old carpet? No charge. Hauling it away? On the house. No hidden fees. Just free installation on carpet $699 or more. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet price $1 or more per square foot. Unique specialty items and requirements may be priced separately. Not valid in all markets. See HomeDepot.com for details. Offer ends August 16th.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Mike Cervantes, a K-9 officer with his dog Hunter. How does one become a K-9 officer?
Well, I was fortunate enough when Sergeant Lushin had the dog, I was in the street crimes unit with him. So as Hunter started his drug career, per se, that's when I started also. For Hunter specifically, he's a narcotics detection and human detection dog. So if somebody, say a little kid walks away from a place, or an older person walks away from a nursing home, something like that, he's able to track them down. He's also able to do article recoveries. So if somebody's running from us and they toss a gun, somebody loses their keys, which we've helped do that before, he can go in an area and I can give him the command to search for that human odor, and he can find that. He's also able to detect odors of illegal narcotic.
Brought to you by F.E. Moran Security Solutions.
Get strong and stay strong at your Champaign Curves. Ladies, rethink your fitness strategy. Let your Curves coach show you the health and beauty benefits that working out offers. For a limited time, new members can join. Get personal instruction and your best body all summer long for just $10. 30-minute cardio, strength training, stretching, and meal planning can get you where you want to be this season. Curves is for women only. At last, feel free to sweat. Curves, when you just want to work out. Located behind Biaggi's in Champaign. Call or go to curves.com today.
Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series, and maybe sooner than we think.
It's our trip to Wrigley Field, Chicago. You can join us on Wednesday, July 5th. The Cubbies take on Tampa Bay at 1:20. Our trip to see the world champion Chicago Cubs. Rooftop tickets and motor coach to Chicago. All your food and beverages are included. Pay online or come by the Stevie J Broadcasting Studios to pay by check. All your details at StevieJ.com. StevieJY.com. Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Man, I'm loving the disdain for the New York Yankees in Central Illinois.
Everyone, Carp, with your picking out like your favorite Yankee. Nobody likes the Yankees, Carp. Deal with it. Your team stinks right now, too, by the way.
I mean, we even have people that do current and all-time least favorite Yankee.
Hey, you're lucky you played the White Sox a couple times. Anyway, I'm going to go with our winner because he hates a guy who had like some of the most visible, tough-to-watch struggles ever.
Yes.
So I kind of like that he's being a bad guy here.
I agree.
Congratulations for being a bad dude, Mike Hanley. You said your least favorite Yankee had to be Chuck Knobloch. What a klutz. So, Austin, let's make Mike Hanley, who works for Cat Logistics, our winner today. So, congratulations to him and his 15 coworkers who are going to get the DP Dough office hookup. They'll get a free catered lunch of calzone, salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people. We'll do this throughout the summer every Monday. We had to do it today since we had yesterday off. But the DPDO office hookup, go visit them online at dpdo.com.
Great stuff, and we appreciate everybody coming or calling in, texting in, not calling, texting in. So continue to listen. We'll do that more often as we go.
Before we get to Saad of Sharma, and Austin's got an update as well, the Cubs will be going to the White House. I know that's been a question with some people. Here's Joe Madden's statement on it. He talked to reporters. I like the United States a lot. I like living here a lot. And I like everything that it represents a lot. When you get a chance as a citizen to go to the White House, you go.
Amen.
Whether you like the person that's running the country or not, out of respect to the office itself, you go. I don't agree with all the other banter that's going on right now because I have a different perspective. I like living here a lot. I like this country a lot. I much prefer living here than some of the other places that adopt different methods of government. I think sometimes that gets confused when people want to take a stand and not really realize actually what we have, which is a lot more than most every other place.
Yeah. All right. You know me.
Here's my thing. If you want to go and you don't agree or you do agree with the president, go.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go, don't go.
Exactly.
I think you have every right to make a stand by not going, or if you just don't want to go to the White House. Or you don't go. Or if you don't agree, maybe you can try and make a statement there, whatever it is. It's freedom of speech.
It totally is.
No one's forcing you to go. I don't think it's ridiculous if somebody for political reasons who doesn't agree with the president, whether it's Obama, whether it's Trump, whether it's Bush, whether it's Clinton, whoever it was.
Has this ever been done in the past? Have we ever had issues like this in the past?
Yeah, I mean, some people think the Patriots didn't go because of Obama.
They didn't. Oh, because of Obama.
There's been plenty of guys who haven't gone because of Obama.
It's a
this
cool
isn't just
tradition.
a Trump thing.
Right. It's a cool tradition.
I think
you get to see the White House.
Yeah, I think it's become a bigger thing because Trump's even more polarizing.
Well, yeah, no doubt, without a doubt.
But I think whether you want to go or not,
if you don't want to go, don't go. Yeah. I mean, it's your off season, whatever.
It's your time.
Exactly. That's exactly right, man. I'd want to see the White House.
Sure.
I don't need Trump or Obama or whoever to show me around. I just want to go see the White House.
But I am okay with somebody who's
that's fine.
Disagreeing ridiculously a lot and doesn't think that president is doing the right thing. I'm fine with that. Whether it's Obama, whether it's Democrat, Republican,
there'll be enough
I'm fine
guys
with
there.
that. I think we've seen LeBron, we've seen other guys really step up. Tom Brady's been political a little bit. I think that's fine. I think if you want to use your platform that way, that's fine. You just got to be willing to pay the price that maybe Colin Kaepernick is paying right now.
That's exactly right.
I don't know if he should be paying that price, but when you choose to do that,
without a doubt,
there are teams that won't want to deal with that.
I just want a vacation. I want to see the White House. I mean, how many of us get a chance to see that kind of a White House? And to not only that, and you also get a chance to meet the president. I mean, I don't know. I know if you don't like
that president, you don't want to meet him.
But to me, I've never disliked someone that bad that I wouldn't just go and meet him.
I mean, respect for the office. I get that. Free world. He's your president.
That's exactly right. So that'll be interesting, though. So Joe Madden kind of speaking out on that. Speaking of the Cubbies, we're going to visit with Saad of Sharma in moments. But first, the biggest Cub fan here. Ugg boots. Are they still around? Ugg boots?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady is actually a sponsor for them, I think.
Tom Brady wears Ugg boots?
Yes, there's some mill Ugg boots.
Oh.
He can pull anything off.
Yeah.
You're Tom Brady, man.
There's a commercial with him in a bed, and he's like, and the guy's like,
Ugg boots?
is there anything else you need? He's like, no, it's perfect.
It's really creepy, but it's Tom Brady.
Yes. All right, anyway, I'm Austin Berkland. This is the 530 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. Illinois has landed another commitment out of Florida. They have signed 3-star defensive back Ron Harge, the third from Cardinal Gibbons High School. He is from the same school of other 2018 commit, Carlos Sandy. Harge had offers from Indiana, Kansas, NC State, and Rutgers. This is Illinois' 7th commitment of the class. The Cubs had a wild ride last night versus the Nationals. Wilson Contreras hit a leadoff homer, but the Cubs gave up 4 runs after taking a 5-0 lead in the 9th inning. They ended up closing it down behind Wade Davis in that same 9th inning, though. The Cubs take on the psychopath pitcher himself, Max Scherzer, tonight from D.C. Game time is at 7:15. Listen on US 105.9. Randall Grichuk is on a 2-game homer streak. They played the Reds to an 8-2 win as part of a rainout earlier in the year. The Cardinals travel to the West Coast to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks at 8:40 Central. Wainwright only allowed 1 earned run in his previous start Friday. The Cardinals have to watch out for Paul Goldschmidt. He has 2 homers and 11 at-bats against Wainwright. The Yankees defeated the White Sox 6-5, but the Sox can take solace on Aaron Judge not hitting a homer. Jose Quintana takes them out tonight against the Yankees. He had a 2.25 ERA in 4 starts in June. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
Thank you, Austin. One of the coolest stores in Champaign-Urbana. They give us a chance to give away their products, and we love it. You can win great Illini apparel, gear, and novelty items each week with the Tay and J Show. Play Game Day Spirit's Wheel of Games in the 5 o'clock hour to win great Fighting Illini prizes. We're going to do that in one of the 5 o'clock hours this week. I'll let you know it's not today. The Game Day Spirit, located on Green Street, on South Neal, and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, proud sponsor of us, the ESPN 93.5's Tay and J Show, and, of course, the official fan store of your Fighting Illini.
I'm looking at the Fangraphs wins above replacement list for starting pitchers. Jose Quintana is struggling so much. He's number 26.
Is he really?
Among starting pitchers and wins above replacement. Jake Arrieta, though this is a big fall for him, is number 30.
Is he really?
So these guys are still top 30 pitchers.
Yes.
I mean, starting pitching has been bad in Major League Baseball this year. The home runs are through the roof, and the starting pitching is really, really difficult to find. The Cardinals have number 7 at Carlos Martinez and number 16 with Mike Leake right now.
Wow, how about Mike Leake, sneaking in there?
And John Lester's number 17.
I was going to say, as Lester, I would assume in that top 20 there.
Number 1, Chris Sale, 4.7 wins above replacement. Max Scherzer, tonight's starter for the Nationals, is second at 3.4.
Are those your
Sale is having such a phenomenal
Are those
year.
your 2 Cy Youngs probably right now?
I would think so.
Yeah. Chris Sale, man, with Boston. That guy's fun to watch. It is time to talk some baseball. Let's focus on the National League. And up north with the Chicago Cubs, we welcome in our buddy Sahadev Sharma from The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Sahadev Sharma. How are you, Sahadev?
I'm doing well, guys. Happy to be on.
Well,
so the news of the day is the Cubs are going to the White House, and what'd you make of that? The whole what did the players say about that?
The players, I didn't get a chance to ask a ton of the players. Basically, just checked if they were going. Majority of the people, everyone that I spoke to is going, but I did not speak to every player. Madden had some thoughts, basically because people were kind of challenging him as far as, the Warriors may protest. How do you view that? He kind of said, well, that's a political statement. He doesn't believe going is a political statement. It's more out of respect to the office, respect to the Ricketts family, who's a bit tied to the White House as well. That's I'm not sure if I agree with what he said. I know I don't agree with what he said, but hey, I didn't feel it was the time to get in a political argument in a pregame session. So I bit my tongue and let him have his say. He was asked about it. To his credit, he didn't shy away from it.
Sahadev Sharma, you've got a nice little deal going tonight with Arrieta and Scherzer. What a fun! I was telling Jeremy that
what a game last night.
What a game! I mean, it's a series with the Nationals. These are the kind of things that's must-see TV. And I know the Cubs have struggled this year a little bit, but how fun is it to see them toe-to-toe with the Nationals and kind of ratchet their game up a little bit to face Washington, who has played really well this season?
Yeah, I think they're up for it. I think they kind of are pumped and ready to kind of get going, so to say. They look at this as a challenge and as a moment where it's time to kind of become that team that everyone believes they can be. I think tonight, obviously it isn't the end of the world if they lose. I think it means a lot if they win this game. I really do. I think Max Scherzer, you guys were just talking about it. Outside of Sale, nobody's pitching better than him. He is absolutely dominant. You can scratch out a win tonight. I think it does boost their confidence. I think it tells them, hey, we are that team that we were last year. We can be that team again. And it could be that moment that they've been searching for to kind of propel them forward. Because I think they do need, it doesn't have to be one moment, but I think they do need something that kind of sparks them and gets them going and gets them in the right direction. And there have been other signs outside of just, hey, we're up for the Nationals other signs, actual play on the field that I see that I believe are positive signs. The pitching is kind of coming around.
Right.
The clutch hitting, it doesn't feel like it anecdotally has been better, but they're hitting 295 in the month of June with runners in scoring position. I would not have guessed that. I just because, and the whole reason is because the wins are not piling up. So we're noticing all the moments when they don't come through and ignoring the moments when they do, because the moments when they don't come through have been pretty significant in the sense that they've lost,
I think we lost Sahadev,
yeah,
so we will get him back.
I know he's at Wrigley Field, so let's try and get him back, okay. Austin. Yeah, I mean, the Cubs, they haven't made up a ton of ground in the standings quite yet, but this is a team that seems to be playing better baseball.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And the pitchers seem to be settling in a little bit. They aren't maybe the dominant selves they were last year. Plus, this team's dealing with a lot of injuries right now.
Yeah, they are.
Hayward, Zobrist, Hendricks, those are huge parts of what your team is right now. So, they've been able to tread water here, gain a little bit of ground. So I do think they're making a little bit of headway. But we have Sahadev Sharma back on the line. And Sahadev, I still think this is the team to beat in a bad NL Central.
Yep.
But Lon and I were saying, when do we buy into the Milwaukee Brewers as a team that actually could stick around for a while?
I like that team. They're solid offense. The pitching is what's really surprised me. The bullpen isn't great, but the starting pitching has surprised me. It's been good. There's been guys that I kind of laughed off almost, and they've gone out there and pitched really well. So does that last? I think that's the key. Does starting pitching last? Are they going to be aggressive at the trade deadline to address any holes? Those are the two keys for me. And really, if they're youngsters, the kids like Brinson and Hader, if they're even able to contribute, even for a few months, I think that's a big thing too. So we'll watch those couple things. But yeah, I agree. The Cubs eventually turn out to be the team to beat in this division.
Now, we were talking about they have some injuries right now, and then they've sent one of their key pieces to AAA, Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
It didn't sound like anybody disagrees with this. There's not a lot of backlash of, what are the Cubs doing here? Are you surprised it took them this long, and why did they wait this long?
Well, I'm not surprised because they're full in on this kid, and they want and all these guys, Matt, Theo, Jet, they all err on the side of patience, especially with guys that they trust, that they believe in, that are putting in the hard work. And, there was no lack of effort there. There was no bad attitude. He wasn't hanging his head and moping in the clubhouse. None of those bad signs that you're like, okay, this kid needs some time off or time to figure things out. They were as patient as they could be, in my opinion. And I think that was the right move because I think he's the type of talent that you wait on, that you say, okay, he's going to figure it out. Because everyone in this organization believes in him. So I think that was the key there. They really believe in what he can be, and they still do. So I think right now it's about a lot of it is mental, but there are some physical things that they want to, mechanical things that they just tweak. But it's a lot of it. Go clear your head, get away from the spotlight. Everybody every day asking you, media asking what's going on, how do you fix it, all that stuff. That's out of the way for the most part. No TV, no big Wrigley Field crowds, none of that. It's just go out there and figure things out and clear your head and go play baseball and have fun again. And hopefully, I believe it turns. And we'll see him soon enough. But you just want to see it happen, I guess.
He's Sahadev Sharma, The Athletic. Read his stuff, theathletic.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Sahadev Sharma. The trade deadline is about a month away right now. There's so many guys. We were mentioning Justin Verlander before. If that's a contract you could take on and be a couple year option. How do you think they're going to play this, Sahadev? I mean, we've talked before about how you think Javi Baez could be a trade piece that they could deal, but how do you think they will play this?
I think they're going to be as aggressive as they can be. They're going to be looking for a pitcher that can be around past this season. And I think the names that they will offer are everyone that's in the minors except for Schwarber and Ian Happ. Those are the names that you'll see dangled. They'd prefer to keep Eloy Jimenez. Obviously, they'd prefer to keep as many players as they can, but I think you need to offer a big time prospect. And what Ian Happ's doing in the big league has to open some eyes. I know he's helped, and he's kind of converted me in the sense that I've seen him make an adjustment. I'm a little more into the guy than I was when I just was hearing about him from scouts. Watching him play, you see a better player than what scouts kind of portray with their words. So, maybe those scouts are spot on, but what we've seen in whatever it's been 6 weeks or so has been pretty impressive. The adjustments he's made, the way he plays, it's a solid game. But I do see the holes. The defense is questionable, and he does chase far too often. Maybe not chase as much as just swing and miss.
Sure.
So there are holes. But I still think he's a quality piece, and I think that could be a central piece to a big trade. The Cubs are hoping. They prefer to hold on to Eloy Jimenez. If the right guy is available, and that's what it takes, I think they will do it. I don't think they've made that final decision. I think they're sitting down right now and kind of they have their targets. They're out there scouting them like crazy and figuring out who the top tier guys are, and then soon enough they'll start engaging teams, because right now we don't even know who is available for sure. 2 weeks ago, we all assumed that Kansas City was selling. That's not the case. A few weeks ago, we assumed the Rays were selling, and now the Rays are out acquiring the shortstop. And from the chatter I've heard, the sources I have, I'd be shocked if the Rays are moving a guy like Chris Archer. So things change quickly. So that's why they're out there scouting. They're doing their work, and it's names that. I've been surprised with certain guys. I was like, wow, that guy's, you're scouting that guy. It's not that he's available. It's just that, hey, maybe these guys, if we give him an offer nice enough, that guy becomes available.
Sahadev, the good news with the Cubs, like last year, you're good enough with everything that if you just add a piece or two, that can be the difference. They did that with Chapman last year. Obviously, they have that taken care of with Wade Davis. And I know it's all about pitching, and it makes sense why it would be. Do you think there's any kind of a position player that maybe Theo has an eye on that maybe could come in? I know they added a John Jay this year for that. Would there be any kind of a position player you think they would add, or is it just going to be all pitching if they do?
As far as the deadline, I'd be really surprised. They stick with the mantra of, we don't rule anything out, but they've been pretty clear that, hey, this is going to be pitching focused. Starters and bullpen, I think more starters, especially if you can get someone past this season, that they know the future, the issue with their future. If they're going to be long-term contenders, they need to find more pitching.
Correct.
Because Lackey's gone, Arrieta's likely gone, and just have question marks now. Now we don't even know with the guys that are going to be around how long is Lester going to be effective? Is Hendricks ever going to be close to what he was last year? Is Eddie Butler an answer? Is Mike Montgomery an answer? We have some sort of idea of what those guys are, but with not 100% clarity. So they're trying to get more clarity by answering those questions, by going out and getting pitching as soon as they can. Guys that can help them and kind of be that they trust they can be counted on.
Is tonight the most interesting lineup of the year for you?
Oh man, he really stacked up the lefties because I wish I remember the word he used. But basically, he suggested that what Scherzer does against righties is just this is not humanly possible. Essentially, I need to go look up the numbers, but apparently what he does against righties is just not fair. So he put a bunch of lefties in there. It's an odd lineup, but. I got to be honest, I'm not fazed by any lineup anymore. After seeing Rizzo at the top a couple of weeks ago, it all feels normal.
It's actually getting fun now to get on Twitter and find out what the Cubs lineup is and see what everybody says about it every day. It's actually a game to play, and it's nice. Sahadev Sharma, you're a busy man from The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter at Sahadev Sharma. Appreciate your time as always, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, buddy. He has got a game to cover tonight. Cubbies and Nationals. What is that lineup? Do you have it in front of you?
Just
that
a few
crazy.
A few minutes away from that. So we appreciate Sahadev joining us when he
absolutely.
did. The Cubs lineup tonight is Rizzo in the leadoff.
Okay.
LaStella batting second.
I forget they even have Tommy LaStella.
Happ third.
Okay.
Chris Bryant fourth. Montero fifth. John Jay in left batting sixth.
Okay.
Javi Baez at short. batting 7th, Jake Arrieta 8th, and Heimer Candelario at 9.
Wow. Well, hey.
That's just an interesting lineup.
It is one of those
not
where...
Not a lineup I thought we'd see this year for the Cubs.
No. Madden's got a little La Russa in him, doesn't he?
Smarter than everybody.
Right. He's got a little La Russa in him.
I can't argue with who he bats leadoff.
No.
I am not going to.
No.
Because they've been pretty good at that leadoff spot since they took Schwarber out.
That's
of it,
correct.
Right?
Every guy he's chosen I bet 80% of the time has delivered.
Except for Schwarber.
Right. That's what I mean.
The guy originally won.
Yeah. After that, almost everybody else he's put in that leadoff hat or spot has delivered. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a night to watch Scherzer because he is on because he's in the era of Kershaw.
Yes.
We don't talk about Scherzer quite enough. He's won a Cy Young in both leagues. I mean, this guy on a Hall of Fame track.
Yes, he is.
Right now, Max Scherzer. And he's one of the most dominant. Sale, Kershaw, and Scherzer. Those are the three best pitchers, most dominant pitchers in the game.
Scherzer and Burley, both from the St. Louis area. Neither want to wear a bird on a bat.
That's because I don't think everyone dreams of playing for the St. Louis Cardinals. Unlike what Cardinals fans feel.
I mean, it's a right. They should be down in that birds on the bat. All right, we have Tay's Take. We have a lot of questions.
We do. We got a lot of Tay's Take questions. If you want to squeeze them in, you can text at 359-2255 or you can tweet me at Jay Warner Scout.
We have not done that forever, so we'll do it next. 80s music on its way. Tay and J Show.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
The deals keep going in June at Ford of Hoopston and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Hoopston. At Ford, save up to $11,000 on the popular Ford F-150 and up to $6,000 off Ford Explorer. At Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get a Jeep Cherokee up to $6,000 off, or Jeep Renegade has $5,000 in savings. Chrysler Pacificas have up to $2,750 in savings, and Ram trucks as much as $6,250 in incentives. Near the intersection of Routes 1 and 9 in Hoopston, or online at HoopstonChrysler.com or FordofHoopston.com.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
When you think about summer, what comes to mind? Sunshine, picnics, ice cream, and double points. That's right, double points all summer long with the Illini Visa Rewards Card and the U of I Community Credit Union. Now through the end of summer, use your Illini Visa Rewards Card on purchases for gas, groceries, and restaurants and score double points. Plus, you can score an extra bonus 1,000 points with your Illini Visa for 20 or more transactions each month. Use those points to purchase once-in-a-lifetime trips and experiences. Not a member yet? Visit IlliniCard.org today.
Hey, it's Stephanie Pratt with Coldwell Banker, the real estate group, your realtor that rocks the real estate market. I so love to cook and smoke. Meats, that is. I want you to be a rockin' cook too, so I'm going to hook one lucky winner up with a master-built smokehouse smoker. Just listen for Stevie J in the morning and Tay and J in the afternoon to tell you the text. When they do, text a keyword to 359-2255 and you'll be entered to win. And let me rock your summer parties in a new home. Go to StephaniePrattHomes.com to contact me today. And for information on the smoker giveaway, go to ESPNCU.com.
Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
It's our trip to Wrigley Field, Chicago. You can join us Wednesday, July 5th. The Cubs take on Tampa Bay at 1:20. You can see the World Champion Chicago Cubs, and the rooftop tickets include all your food and beverage. Pay online at ESPNCU.com or stop by our studios Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 2702 South Boulder in Urbana. Again, join us July 5th, Cubs rooftop trip, ESPNCU.com for details.
Go, Cubs, go!
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker?
When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Securities advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are things Country Financial stands for. More than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. Neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of our community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. Chat with your neighbor at Country Financial. Jesse DeHaan. Call 352-3466. Talk about things that are important to you and how Country Financial can help protect them.
The Home Depot has a new idea. Free carpet installation that means free carpet installation. Clearing out furniture? Free. Ripping out old carpet? No charge. Hauling it away? On the house. No hidden fees. Just free installation on carpet $699 or more. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Unique specialty items and requirements may be priced separately. Not valid in all markets. See HomeDepot.com for details. Offer ends August 16th.
Say hello to summer with Champagne Surplus. Right now, save up to 30% on the North Face, Osprey, Keen, and more great brands. Whether you're going on a 4th of July camping trip, backpacking the Appalachian Trail, or just enjoying a drink downtown, Champagne Surplus has everything you need for an adventurous, stylish summer. From backpacks and tents to sundresses and sandals, they've got you covered. So don't miss the Hello Summer Sale at Champagne Surplus, 303 South Neal Street, downtown Champaign.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
What you feeling, huh? What's on your mind, huh?
I think I have too much information stored in my brain. It's an interesting theory.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I didn't do the win everybody.
It's Tay's Take, brought to you by DP Dough, the original calzone company on campus since 2006. Hungry late at night? You can order online at dpdough.com. I would try out their chicken bacon zone.
Ooh.
Breaded chicken, bacon, mozzarella.
I'm in.
2 meats and a cheese.
I'm in.
In a calzone form.
Are you kidding me?
Order online at dpdough.com. Are you ready, Lon?
I'm ready.
A 217 texter, I don't believe this is Harry Black, said, has there ever been a radio jingle as awesome as Effie Moran's?
We just tried to play it. We just tried to find it and bring it into the rotation. No.
There's some good jingles in this town.
There are some. This is a jingle town.
Yes, absolutely.
This area is all about radio jingles.
We'll be singing them.
Yes.
Every once in a while.
Just you and I.
That's what it's about.
There. That's what it's all
Brand
about.
retention.
Effie Moran, though.
Illini Fuzz. How much impact do you think Josh Whitman has on Luke Ford?
More than you think. More than you think. I think Josh Whitman is the guy that has an impact on a lot of these recruits. Mm-hmm. It still comes down to Lovie Smith and Brad Underwood and the assistant coaches, but I think they do not mind meeting Josh Whitman, and when they do and realize that guy's in charge of this program, I think I'm not saying it's the biggest, but it makes an impact.
Well, if there's a company and you get hired by a boss,
Absolutely.
That guy has a boss. And if you believe in him and that boss came from where
you believe in the vision,
right? I mean, that's the thing about Whitman. He
Absolutely.
Comes from Illinois. He can sell Illinois.
That is correct.
Better than his predecessor ever.
Correct.
Did. Brad Replinger, our boy. At what angle should my driver launch be if I'm swinging the club at 110 miles an hour with a 62-gram stiff flex shaft?
Wow. Listen, Brad, I know, I gave you a few lessons when we were up there zipping around. What was that course called?
I don't know.
How quick we've forgotten when we were up at Illinois. I'm going to go with let's go with a 9 on that. I think a 9. I have no reason to.
9 angle?
Yeah.
At
9
what
angle?
Okay.
9 angle. I hit like an 8. I can hit an 8 and still hit that thing too hard.
The Roundtable.tv said, if you could pick your number to wear as an Illini football player, which would you want?
Ooh, well,
one with history or one less prominent?
I would not pick 78 because Harry Black, it's going to be retired. It actually is retired in the studio.
In the Tay and J studio.
And I am not big enough to be an offensive lineman. I don't know. What would I play in football? I'm 6 foot.
You'd be a receiver.
Yeah, I'm going number 10. 10 is that's the number I wore in every sport. So
Every
I'm going
skill
10.
player now goes to small numbers. There's rarely 80s
Isn't that
anymore,
funny?
right? All
Yeah.
those receivers, they all go the small numbers.
I'm going 10. It'd be interesting to see what position, like Lovey would look at me and say, all right, you go do this.
Brandon, favorite milkshake flavor and from where? He said, FYI, I just finished a Jamocha from Arby's. Be jealous.
Well, I'm boring. It's vanilla. It's the only milkshake. It's the only. I eat vanilla ice cream and I drink vanilla shake. Where from?
So boring.
Man, there are some good milkshakes. I mean, Steak and Shake's got a great milkshake.
Well, they better. It's in the name.
I agree with you. Where is a small... I'll go Steak and Shake. Nothing's coming to my mind.
And Brandon also asks, a segue, fries, regular or curly?
Oh, curly. Yeah. Just ate those Sunday night, early Monday morning.
Champagne Room, who will be the top 3 spots in the Illini men's golf rotation next year? Between Hardy, Meyer, Fiegels, Gio, and Bumgarden.
Well, you got Dylan Meyer, Nick Hardy.
I'm going Fiegels.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. I think Fiegels, and then I think Bumgarner, I think he makes an impact. I think he learns some stuff this year. So
Needs to.
I think he'll come back. I can't wait to watch those kids next year.
Luke, who would win in a fight of the most annoying people? Kanye West versus Lamar Ball. Discuss. I think LeVar's gotten to the fun point now.
Yes.
That WWE thing.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, he's been a good dad.
Yes,
and I think
has.
he's a good dude.
I totally
He's just
agree.
marketing himself, and the media keeps giving him all these opportunities. To me, it's gotten a little fun at this point.
I agree. I'll go Kanye on that one.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. I'll go Kanye.
Who ordered cheese on the side at Addie's last week, and were they fined?
That would be Carp. That's always Carp. Yeah. What did he? No, he was not fined, by the way, by us, but he should have been. I didn't even notice it. We had interesting things to discuss there, so we were focused.
Saul said starting O-line for the opening Illinois football game.
Starting O-line?
No.
So we'll go Allegretti at center.
DeLauro.
You've got Gabe Meganson.
I go Adam Solomon at tackle.
Oh, Solomon's the guy I couldn't think of. And then who am I missing?
You going Larry Boyd?
Yes. I'm going a freshman in there. Why not?
All right. Corey, can we get this one out?
Yeah.
I know we got to go.
Hurry.
If you could kick one team out of the league in each major sport, who would it be?
Okay, we're going Marlins in baseball. They're out. Although I don't like Seattle.
The Twins survive contraction.
Twins survive. NBA, I'm going Toronto. I just don't want any. I'm done with the Canadian stuff.
You want an American League?
I want America. Even though Toronto's good, right? Football, Buffalo. I just don't like Buffalo.
They're close to Canada.
They are close to Canada, and I've got nothing against Canada. And in hockey, the Blackhawks. No, I wouldn't kick them out. Who would I kick out in hockey?
One of those warm
Columbus
weather.
Blue Jackets.
The Florida Panthers.
Yeah. I'm kicking out Columbus.
Hey, thanks to our guest today, Brett Dawson, the Oklahoman, so out of Sharma, The Athletic. If you missed any of the show, get the podcast, ESPNCU.com, or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance.
We got 20 more seconds now, so we might as well chat.
Thanks to our interns today.
Yeah! Go through the list.
All you dudes.
Harry, Austin, Maddie. Who else is in there? Jacob. Who else? Jack? No, it's not Jack. I can't even see in there anymore. Who is it? Ryan? Tom? David? Mike? We'll see everybody tomorrow. Tay and J Show.
12 interns.
It's a familiar place you know. It's a relationship to hold on to. It's a place for families, a part of growing up, and a key to staying healthy. There are warm, friendly faces, people you trust because you know you're in good hands. Because you know there's complete passion, professionalism, and heart. If it's your first time or another visit, you get the care you deserve at Illini Smiles Dental Care. Dr. Shu, Dr. Fott, and Dr. Lou and their team are ready to see you now. Illini Smiles Dental Care, 303 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Book your visit online today at IlliniSmilesDentalCare.com. That's IlliniSmilesDentalCare.com. Illini Smiles Dental Care. We love to see you smile.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.